Lin Moyu's current rule world is very lively. Infinite Fusion and the World Tree both have some basic wills and can communicate in a simple way. The array spirit Xiao Jin also has intelligence, but Xiao Jin has nothing to do for the time being and sleeps all day long. The Golden Armor Ancient Talisman has temporarily lost its function, and its effect is completely unable to keep up with the combat power improvement of the Undead Legion. After entering the Origin Continent, Lin Moyu did not have time to transform and upgrade the Golden Armor Ancient Talisman. Xiao Jin just temporarily fell asleep and waited for the future. However, Lin Moyu did not give up the Golden Armor Ancient Talisman. When he stood firm, he would definitely upgrade the Golden Armor Ancient Talisman. The World Tree suddenly sent its will, and Lin Moyu asked softly, "Do you want this debris?" The World Tree sent its will again, "I want it, I want it." Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Okay, then give it to you." Lin Moyu threw the spiritual vein debris to the World Tree, and a branch flew over and rolled up the spiritual vein debris. Then a spiritual flower automatically fell off and fell on the spiritual vein debris. The spiritual flower bloomed naturally, wrapping up the spiritual vein debris. A strange breath came out from the spiritual flower, and the spiritual vein that had been dead began to recover. Lin Moyu was stunned on the spot. What? Spiritual flowers can even heal the injuries of spiritual veins? Lin Moyu suddenly realized that he had thought too narrowly about the role of spiritual flowers. The healing effect of spiritual flowers is not limited to living beings, it can heal everything. Although the spiritual vein debris is dead, the living beings it nurtured still retain a glimmer of life. Strictly speaking, it has not really died. So the spiritual flower can play a role and revive it. The effect of the spiritual flower is too magical, and even the owner Lin Moyu feels incredible. I have never heard that the remains of the Origin spiritual vein can be resurrected. Unfortunately, this is only a second-level Origin spiritual vein. If it is a higher-level Origin spiritual vein, it will be better. If he wants to find a place to stay, he must first have the Origin spiritual vein, otherwise the terrain will change and he will not be able to take root. However, the second-level Origin spiritual vein is too weak. Moyu thinks that at least a fourth-level Origin spiritual vein is needed. If it can be higher, it will be better. The fourth level is the bottom line. First, take root and then slowly cultivate it. The spiritual flower has an excellent effect. The Origin spiritual vein recovers quickly and the aura it emits becomes stronger and stronger. It was the first time that Lin Moyu felt the aura of the Origin spiritual vein. The strong aura of the Origin made him feel suffocated. In the Origin continent, everything needs to rely on the Origin, and the Origin spiritual vein is the best representative of the Origin. Even if there is only a second-level Origin spiritual vein, its aura is still strong. But before the Origin spiritual vein recovers, the branch suddenly rolls up the Origin spiritual vein and sends it to the root of the tree. The roots of the World Tree stretched out suddenly and swallowed the Origin spiritual vein directly. The rich Origin aura completely disappeared and was completely covered by the World Tree. After swallowing the Origin spiritual vein, the World Tree rustled and began to grow again, and another batch of spiritual flowers and fruits began to grow. After the previous batch was used by the Dragon Riders, there were less than 100 spiritual flowers and fruits left. At this time, another batch of them grew rapidly, which was considered a good weight. Lin Moyu also understood that the growth of the World Tree also required the power of the Origin. However, it did not care about ordinary Origin crystals. What it needs is the Origin spiritual vein. Lin Moyu's mouth twitched. They are so picky. If this continues, I really can't afford a degree. Infinite Fusion requires spiritual materials, and the requirements are getting higher and higher. Judging from now, next time, at least we have to eat the spiritual materials of Dao Zun. The World Tree directly wants the Origin spiritual vein. It lacks the Origin spiritual vein itself, so where can we find so many Origin spiritual veins for it? The Origin spiritual vein is more scarce than spiritual materials. So, these two guys are more difficult than each other. Lin Moyu sighed and left the rule world. In the yard, Xiaoye has finished refining the Xuanguang boxing gloves and is boxing with them. After the boxing gloves are refined, they are as light as nothing in Xiaoye's hands and have no effect on her boxing. Soon, Xiaoye has completely adapted to the Xuanguang boxing gloves. After Xiaoye finished boxing, Lin Moyu took out 5 exquisite 5th-level origin crystals and embedded them in the boxing gloves. Then he brought Xiaoye to the world of rules and asked Xiaoye to punch him. Xiaoye knew that she couldn't hurt Lin Moyu, so she activated the Xuanguang boxing gloves and punched Lin Moyu with all her strength. After several tests, Lin Moyu had completely understood the limits of the Xuanguang boxing gloves. Activating 1 origin crystal, the Xuanguang boxing gloves can hit an attack equivalent to a half-step supreme. Activating 3, the attack reaches the peak supreme. Activating all 5 origin crystals can hit a low-level Tianzuan. 5 punches can be thrown in a row. After 5 punches, the boxing gloves will fall into cooling and need 10 minutes to recover. 5 exquisite 5th-level origin crystals are enough for Xiaoye to hit thousands of punches, which can be used for a long time. The quality of the origin crystal is only related to the length of use, not the power. Even if you use 5 of the worst first-level origin crystals, you can hit a Tianzuan realm punch, but it's only 1 punch. After testing the Xuanguang fist, Lin Moyu asked Xiaoye to put away the gloves, and then said, "Now I will teach you the second set of boxing. You can learn it first, and you don't have to practice it. When you enter Leishan and break through the Super God realm, you can practice the second set of boxing." Xiaoye nodded. Baozi obeys. Lin Moyu taught Xiaoye the second set of boxing of Zhuli Tianzuan. The second set of boxing was just an improvement and upgrade on the first set of boxing, and most of it was the same. Xiaoye only learned it twice and had mastered it completely. Zhuli Tianzuan's boxing can refine the essence and the soul, which is very suitable for shower. The first set can be practiced to the Super God realm, and the second set can be practiced to the other shore realm. The second set of boxing is enough for Xiaoye to practice Li Ma. Lin Moyu drank tea, admired the Taiyin origin, and enjoyed the cool air brought by the sun origin. He didn't have a room to practice, but under the illumination of the Taiyin origin, Lin Moyu still felt that his cultivation had improved. After entering the origin continent, he has been adapting to the origin continent, and he has not yet fully adapted to the altar. There is no rush to practice. To adapt to the origin continent, for Lin Moyu, it is a process of consolidating the foundation. After Xiaoye finished practicing boxing, Xiao Wu couldn't wait to pull Xiaoye to play. This big child who has lived for tens of thousands of years still has a childlike heart and has endless games to play. Lin Moyu's ears suddenly moved, and he said to the two of them, "You play, I'll leave for a while." Xiao Wu asked, "Where are you going, master?" Lin Moyu said, "Someone is looking for me, I'll be back soon." After that, Lin Moyu left the yard and headed out of the city. Lin Moyu left Leicheng, his speed suddenly increased, and he crossed dozens of miles in an instant and came to a dense forest. Lu Fengqing looked at Lin Moyu and said in a cold voice, "You little brat, you're really fast." It seemed that there was a faint pressure on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's body sank slightly, and he felt that someone was pressing on his shoulders. It was hard to bear the pressure of the Taoist master. Lin Moyu clasped his fists and saluted calmly. Lin Moyu greets Senior Lu. "I wonder what you want me to do when you come here late at night." Lu Fengqing said coldly, "How do you know my last name is Lu?" Lin Moyu said, "Senior's clothes have the logo of Lufeng Chamber of Commerce, which means that you are the director of Lufeng Chamber of Commerce. And your appearance and temperament are somewhat similar to Miss Feng Yao, so I dare to guess that your last name is also Lu." Lu Fengqing's breath gradually became softer, and the pressure disappeared. "It seems that you really know Miss Feng Yao. Did you meet her in the Sea of Boundaries?" Lin Moyu said, "Yes, I am fortunate to be able to execute the Sea of Boundaries with Miss Feng Yao, and we met as enemies." Lu Fengqing nodded, and he did not delve into the question, "Do you know why I called you here?" Lin Moyu thought for a while and said carefully, "It should be the auction of 670, the matter of the Yin family." Lin Moyu could feel that Lu Fengqing had no ill intentions in looking for him, so he did not hide it. But he was also very confused. He had clearly erased all traces, so why could the other party still find him? Could it be that he had made a mistake? His mind turned quickly, and he felt that there was nothing wrong. He didn't know what went wrong. Lu Fengqing snorted, "You are smart and didn't hide anything. I want to ask you, who told you to mess with my formation?" Lin Moyu suddenly realized and smiled bitterly, "So you set up the formation." Only the person who set up the formation could sense that the formation had been tampered with by himself. And he found himself by following the clues. He had calculated everything, but he didn't expect that the owner of the formation was actually here. He really hit a wall. Lu Fengqing said, "Do you know that messing with other people's formations is equivalent to provocation?" Lin Moyu said secretly, "I didn't expect the owner of the formation to be here. I'm really unlucky." He cursed himself for being unlucky, but said, "This time, it was indeed the junior who did something wrong. If the senior has any punishment, just tell me." Lu Fengqing said, "You are so straightforward. If that's the case, then let's do it this way. There are 3 formations here. If you can crack them all, I will spare you." Lu Fengqing waved his hand, and a breeze blew, revealing 3 formations behind him. Each formation is not big, but they all have a characteristic, and they are all very mysterious. The complexity is one of the best formations Lin Moyu has ever seen. Lin Moyu looked at it for a while and shook his head, except for the one in the middle, the formations on the left and right, I can't crack them. Lu Fengqing's eyes widened. Why? Lin Moyu said, "I only know the way of talisman formations. Only the one in the middle is a talisman formation. The 2 formations on the left and right, one is a weapon formation, and the other is a combination of a talisman formation and a weapon formation. I can't crack them." Lu Fengqing looked strange. "You haven't learned weapon arrays?" Lin Moyu said, "I have only learned runes and rune arrays, and I don't know much about weapon arrays. If it is a weapon array below the Supreme Realm, I can try to crack it. I have no experience in Senior's weapon arrays." Lu Fengqing muttered, "The weapon array and the talisman array are never separated. I don't know where you learned it, but you only learned half of it. Forget it. In that case, let's do the talisman array, but the difficulty will be increased." Lu Fengqing waved his hand and removed all the formations on the left and right, leaving only the formation in the middle. He flicked his fingers and randomly ejected a few ancient talismans, which merged into the talisman array. The talisman array suddenly roared and quickly became powerful. The whole action seemed casual, but it contained a strong Taoist charm, which was pleasing to the eye. Lin Moyu saw Lu Fengqing's action, and his pupils shrank suddenly, and he exclaimed, "Aft. 10 golds become a talisman." What Lu Fengqing did was the highest realm in the rune, a thought becomes a talisman. What he ejected was only the power of the origin, and the power of the origin quickly turned into an ancient talisman under his thought. This is also the realm that Xingfu Tianzuan has always sought but cannot obtain in the big world. Among the holy talisman Heavenly Venerable, the highest realm of drawing talismans is to create a talisman with one thought. Unexpectedly, it is so easy and casual in Lu Fengqing's hands. Lu Fengqing seemed very satisfied with Lin Moyu's reaction. "You have a good eye. You know that I use a talisman with one thought." Lin Moyu said, "There was once a senior who described to me the highest realm of drawing runes, which is to create a talisman with one thought. Unfortunately, I have never seen it." Lu Fengqing suddenly said, "What is the highest realm of drawing talismans?" Although it is not easy to create a talisman with one thought, it is still far from the highest realm. I don't know what kind of inferior goods your senior is. Don't talk nonsense, and quickly crack this formation. As long as you can crack the formation, forget about the previous things. If you can't crack it, you should be mentally prepared." Lin Moyu had no choice but to go ahead. Although he was extremely talented in runes and had a special feeling that others did not have. But he had no confidence in breaking the rune formation of the Daozun realm. When he came to the rune formation, Lin Moyu began to study it seriously. The rune formation was extremely complex, and countless ancient runes were spinning and flying in the formation, making Lin Moyu feel dizzy, and his soul power was consumed at an alarming rate. This feeling reminded Lin Moyu of when he was at a low level. He overestimated his own ability and touched the fragments of the rune. The two feelings were very similar. Both of them were exposed to ancient runes that were much higher than their own realm. In the ancient rune world, it represents the Tao of the great world. Everything in the great world is composed of an extremely complex ancient rune. And in the origin world, the solid rune also contains the avenue of the origin world. Learning ancient runes is equivalent to practicing the avenue. There are some differences in details between the ancient runes of the great world and the ancient runes of the origin continent. A slight difference in runes can lead to a huge mistake. This is a good opportunity to compare the two runes. Lin Moyu realized that this was a great opportunity to learn the runes of the origin continent. The world tree rustled, replenishing Lin Moyu's soul power continuously. Lin Moyu adjusted the consumption rate of his soul power to keep the replenishment rate and consumption rate consistent. Then, he fell into the ocean of rune knowledge again and began to wander. The difference between the runes of the two worlds was quickly found and corrected. Lin Moyu drew inferences from one instance and found a difference point, and then he could think of the difference points of other runes. He began to draw runes, and runes were generated one by one at his fingertips, and then dispersed. The runes drawn by Lin Moyu were changing from the runes of the big world to the runes of the origin continent. Lu Fengqing watched Lin Moyu draw runes with his own eyes, and he finally understood why Lin Moyu learned rune formations but not weapon formations. In the origin continent, weapon formations and rune formations are never separated. But in some worlds of the Sea of Boundaries, this is not the case. So he comes from the Sea of Boundaries. Lu Fengqing has seen that Lin Moyu's rune path comes from the Sea of Boundaries. The rune path in the Sea of Boundaries is incomplete, and it is fundamentally different from the origin continent. He was a little disappointed. People in the Sea of Boundaries, no matter how talented they are not much stronger. And the foundation has been laid. It is difficult to achieve great achievements. But why did Feng Yao ask him for a senior membership? Is there something special about this brat? Looking at his appearance, although he is still handsome, there are many more handsome than him. Lu Fengqing's eyes rose with an inexplicable breath, and gusts of breeze blew from all directions, silently brushing Lin Moyu. Lu Fengqing finally showed a look of shock. This kid is only over 2,000 years old. He is cultivated to the heavenly venerable for over 2,000 years, and his foundation is extremely solid, even more solid than the geniuses of the origin continent. This is a rare genius in 1,000 years, who fought his way out from the Boundary Sea world. Lu Fengqing suddenly realized that something was wrong. No, the kid just said that he and Feng Yao girl participated in the Boundary Sea order together. Only the Lord of the Boundary Sea world is eligible to participate in the Boundary Sea order. He is the Lord of the Boundary Sea, not from the Boundary Sea world. But this is not right. If he is not from the Boundary Sea world, how to explain his runes? Lu Fengqing felt confused. With his Dao Zun brain, he couldn't figure it out. While he was thinking in confusion, Lin Moyu's movements became faster and faster. Runes were constantly being corrected, from runes in the big world to runes in the source world. Lin Moyu gradually realized the difference between the two. From knowing the external difference, he began to understand the internal difference. In this way, he could correct other runes himself. As long as the basic runes were corrected, then advanced runes and ancient runes would no longer be a problem. Lu Fengqing finally discovered this and was shocked again. This kid is really a rune genius. He has completed the rune correction in such a short time. Other rune geniuses from the world of Jiehai will take at least half a year to a year. But he only has so much time. It is estimated that it will not take 2 hours. Compared to him, those so-called geniuses are simply idiots. Lin Moyu's speed was so fast that even Lu Fengqing, the Dao Zun, was shocked and speechless. After more than an hour, Lin Moyu completed the correction of most of the runes, and the remaining runes would not take much time. At this time, Lin Moyu heard Lu Fengqing's slightly impatient voice. Are you done? When do you start? Lin Moyu naturally knew that he could not hide the fact that he took the opportunity to learn runes from Lu Fengqing. But as long as Lu Fengqing did not say anything to stop him, he would learn it shamelessly. Now he also shamelessly responded, start now. Lin Moyu finally began to really study this rune formation. After the rune correction just now, Lin Moyu already had some understanding of this rune formation. Through simple analysis of some of the unknown runes, he could also know their approximate functions. Lin Moyu quickly analyzed this rune formation. He could not accurately analyze the specific functions of the Dao Zun Realm rune formation. Although this array looks small, it is actually more complicated than the array at the auction. Although I don't understand the function of the array, I don't need to understand it. I just need to break it. The method to break it is also very simple. As long as you break its balance, the array will naturally break. Lin Moyu found that this array has a very strong balance. As long as he breaks the balance, he can break the array. It is not easy to break the balance with external force. With his strength, it is almost impossible to do it. The balance cannot be broken from the outside, it can only be broken from the inside. Lin Moyu began to draw the ancient symbol. This ancient symbol is exactly the same as an ancient symbol in the array. As long as this ancient symbol can be integrated into the array, the balance of the array can be broken. Lu Fengqing looked at the ancient symbol drawn by Lin Moyu and laughed in his heart. I really found a way, but the real difficulty is how to send the ancient symbol into the array. It is not difficult to find a way to crack it, but it is difficult to send the ancient rune in. The rune array will reject external ancient runes, so it is not easy to get in. After Lin Moyu finished drawing the ancient rune, his soul power moved and began to adjust the vibration frequency of the ancient rune. He wanted to keep the vibration frequency of the ancient rune and the rune array consistent. 0**. The vibration frequency of the rune array has been changing all the time, and this change seems very chaotic and irregular. But Lin Moyu still found some rules from it. Every time the frequency of the rune array changes, it will last for about 0.1 seconds. That is to say, he needs to change the frequency of his ancient rune within 0.1 seconds after the vibration frequency of the rune array changes and send the auspicious rune in. Half a second is very short, but Lin Moyu feels that he can do it. He first slowly adjusts the vibration frequency of the ancient rune to get as close to the rune array as possible. The vibration frequency of the ancient rune keeps changing, making a sound that only Lin Moyu and Lu Fengqing can hear. Lu Fengqing is getting more and more surprised. His spiritual perception is so powerful, and his control of the frequency of the rune has reached a subtle level. 0. He has a very strong talent for runes, the 10th person I have never seen. But it's not that easy to break my rune array. Before he finished his thought, Lin Moyu suddenly adjusted the frequency of the ancient rune quickly and pushed it into the rune array. Lin Moyu seized the opportunity and used 0.1 seconds to change the rune frequency and push it in. The whole action was like lightning and smooth, as if it was supposed to be like this. The ancient rune was integrated into the rune array very smoothly, and the balance of the rune array was broken and began to twist and deform. A few seconds later, accompanied by a slight sound, it broke on the spot. Lin Moyu looked at Lu Fengqing. Senior, I have succeeded, right? As a Taoist master, Lu Fengqing would not go back on his word. Yes, you have succeeded. I will keep my word. I will forgive you for tampering with my formation. Lin Moyu immediately bowed. Thank you for your magnanimity, senior. Lu Fengqing waved his hand. Thank you too much. Now let's settle the matter of you tampering with the auction and affecting the fairness of the auction. Lin Moyu did not expect that Lu Fengqing would have this trick, and couldn't help but smile bitterly. How do you plan to settle it, senior? Lu Fengqing took out a jade card. Here are some basic knowledge of the array. You go back and study it yourself. In 3 days, I will come to test you. If you fail, you know the next step. After the voice fell, Lu Fengqing disappeared with a breeze. Only Lin Moyu was left in the breeze, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. When the Sun Origin regained control of the world, Lin Moyu returned to his yard. Xiao Wu and Xiao Yu were sleeping soundly on the calf, and the calf became their bed, sleeping more soundly than the two of them. Hearing the sound of Lin Moyu coming back, Xiao Wu was sleepy. "Master, you are back." Lin Moyu nodded. "You sell it." "Oh." Xiao Wu responded casually and closed his eyes again. Lin Moyu took the jade token given by Lu Fengqing. "With a little helplessness, there are enough things to do, but I didn't expect that I would be given more work." After coming to the Origin continent, Lin Moyu had a lot of things on hand, and even had little time for his own cultivation. Unexpectedly, before he had dealt with the last thing, new things came again. But he had no choice. Lu Fengqing's words were already there, not giving him a chance to refuse. It is wise to offend a Taoist master. 3 or 40. The array of weapons and the array of talismans are inseparable. If this is the case in the Origin continent, I need to fill this gap. His consciousness probed into the jade card and began to formally contact the array of weapons. The first information he got was the various basic knowledge of the department. In the big world, there is also the theory of array of weapons, and there have been many excellent array masters. It's just that in the big world, the talisman master and the array master are separated. The array master is the array master, and the talisman master is the talisman master, two different routes. In the Origin continent, the array and the talisman market are not separated. Although there are two types of arrays, the array of weapons and the talisman array, they will eventually be combined, and the weapon and the talisman will be completely integrated together. In the Origin continent, controlling the weapon with the talisman is the highest standard of the array. This is a path from simple to complex, and then from complex to simple. Lin Moyu learned the knowledge of the array of weapons and had an epiphany in his heart. First, practice the weapon array and the rune array separately, and then merge the two array methods together. The merged array is very complicated, which is from simple to complex. After reaching the limit on this road, simplify it again, integrate the runes into the corresponding magic weapon, and finally turn it into an array treasure. Once the array treasure comes out, the array is naturally formed, which is from complex to simple. Lin Moyu has a good understanding of the rune array and is very familiar with it. Although he has not systematically studied the weapon array, he has also had contact with it. For example, the 10,000 stars array that comes with the Red Star Supreme bloodline is already the ultimate array in the big world. Lin Moyu has some basics, and now he is not unfamiliar with the weapon array of the Origin continent. A lot of knowledge about the weapon array was absorbed by Lin Moyu, and his understanding of the weapon array continued to deepen. 2 hours later, Lin Moyu suddenly took out 5 Origin crystals, all of which were ordinary first-order Origin crystals. With a flick of his finger, the Origin crystals flew out naturally and formed a strange pattern in the void. The Origin crystals emanated a strange power, which connected with each other, and then suddenly expanded to cover a circular area with a diameter of about 3 meters. This is the simplest formation among the weapon formations, which has the effect of sound insulation and concealment. The formation masters in the Origin continent basically use this formation as the entry-level formation. Most formation masters can arrange this formation within a month after learning the weapon formation, which is considered to be extremely talented. If they can arrange the weapon formation within 10 days, they are top talents. But Lin Moyu, after learning the weapon formation, only took less than 2 hours. And in these 2 hours, at least half an hour at the beginning, Lin Moyu did not learn the formation, but compared the formations of the two worlds. The time he actually learned the formation was only a little more than an hour. It seems that I also have a talent for weapon formations. Lin Moyu smiled slightly complacently. Xiao Wu had woken up at this time, with big eyes. "Master, are you learning the formation?" Lin Moyu nodded, "Just for fun." Xiao Wu wondered, "What's the use of this formation?" Lin Moyu smiled, "No use." With a wave of his hand, the formation naturally dissipated and disappeared. Xiao Lu looked around and felt that it was meaningless, so she went to play with Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu had already started her morning class and was practicing boxing in the yard. Lin Moyu continued to study the Jade card. The way of weapon formation is also profound and extensive, and I have only touched the surface. I can't help it. The Jade card given by Senior Lu records a total of 3 formations, each one more difficult than the other. It seems that if you want to satisfy him, you have to master all 3 formations. Senior Lu doesn't actually want to do anything to me. He wants me to break the formation and learn the formation. Does he want to take me as his apprentice? Lin Moyu recalled Lu Fengqing's eyes. It is not impossible. No matter what, the Taoist master's thoughts are hard to guess. Lin Moyu wiped away the messy thoughts in his mind and continued to study the array. To set up the array, magic weapons and various materials are needed. These magic weapons and materials are collectively called array tools. Some arrays are extremely special and require special array tools. Normally, the stronger the array tool, the stronger the same array. Before finding a suitable array tool, you can use the origin crystal instead. Origin crystals are universal array tools that can be used in various places. Only a small number of arrays cannot use origin crystals. The 3 arrays left by Lu Fengqing in the Jade card, the first array requires 5 array tools to set up, the second requires 10, and the third requires 20. 3 arrays, one more difficult than the other. When the sun's origin was hanging high in the sky, the scorching power of the origin fell on the earth. Lin Moyu flicked his fingers and 20 origin crystals flew out. The origin crystals pressed Lin Moyu's will accurately fell on each position, forming a peculiar shape. The origin breaths connected with each other, and in an instant, the whole yard shook. Mine array, done. Lin Moyu shouted. The array was activated, and thunder suddenly sounded in the array, mixed with the sound of waves. In the area covered by this mine array, the enemy will be attacked by mines continuously. However, the mine array is only the basic array in the weapon array. According to the level, it is only the first level, which is an entry-level array. In Lin Moyu's eyes, this array is too weak, and more than 2.0 can only deal with the true God realm. With a wave of his hand, the array dissipated, and Lin Moyu shook his head gently. The first level array is too weak. It took half a day to finally master the 3 arrays completely. Even for the top-level talented array master, it would take at least 2 months to master these 3 arrays. And Lin Moyu, it only took about 5 hours. If Lu Fengqing knew about this speed, he would probably jump up in shock. Even if he was a Taoist master, he couldn't keep calm. The formation above the Thunder City suddenly sounded a deafening thunder, followed by lightning, which was many times stronger than the previous water mine formation. At the same time, the gate of the yard was violently knocked open, and Lei Pengpeng rushed in. "Let's go watch the competition." She shouted and pulled Xiao Wu and Xiao Yu out, ignoring Lin Moyu. The formation above Leiqing continued to thunder. Lightning turned into a signpost pointing directly outside the city. Countless people walked out of the city, and for a time, the outside of the city was crowded. Several arenas have been set up outside the city, and practitioners are fighting on the arena. According to the usual practice, the Lei family took out 100 Leishan places and sent them out through arena competitions. There are 6 arenas in total, representing different realms. Super God Realm, True God Realm, God King Realm, God Honor Realm, Other Shore Realm, Supreme Realm, 6 realms, 6 arenas. The rules are very simple. Practitioners enter the corresponding arena for competition. The winner stays and the loser goes down. Those who win 5 games in a row can get the corresponding quota. The quotas allocated to each realm are different. Super God Realm and True God Realm each have 1 quota. God King Realm and God Honor Realm each have 15 quotas, Other Shore Realm has 20 quotas, and Supreme Realm has 30 quotas. All places are on a first-come, first-served basis until all are available. Those who need to participate can go to the registration office set up by the Lei family to register, and the Lei family will assign the order of appearance. These 11 things are difficult to fake even if you have friends you know. But it is not completely impossible to fake, it is just very difficult. But there is no absolute fairness in the world, and the Lei family will not pursue fairness. In Leicheng, they are the rules, and everyone can only choose to abide by them. If you have the ability to go to the ring, if you don't have the ability, get out, it's that simple. Lei Pengpeng rushed out of the city with Xiao Wu and Xiaoye, rushed into the ring area, and watched others fight excitedly. Lin Moyu and Lei Sanxiang followed behind, both of them were a little helpless. Lei Sanxiang looked at Lei Pengpeng, who was surprisingly energetic and fully recovered, and there was always a smile in his eyes. Lin Moyu smiled and said, after Miss Pengpeng recovered, her cultivation progressed very quickly, which can be regarded as a blessing in disguise. Lei Sanxiang narrowed his eyes. This is all thanks to fellow Taoist Lin, otherwise Pengpeng would have only suffered misfortune, not blessing. The evil soul that once attached itself to Lei Pengpeng like a parasite left a part of its soul power after death. All this soul power became Lei Pengpeng's nutrients. In just a few days, Lei Pengpeng's realm has been greatly improved. It won't take long for her to reach the true God realm. And the true God realm is not the limit. According to Lin Moyu's estimation, Lei Pengpeng is enough to reach the godly realm in a short time. Lin Moyu said, Pengpeng will also go on this trip to Leishan. Lei Sanxiang nodded, she will go. In fact, whether Pengpeng is cured or not, she will go. Lin Moyu understood what Lei Sanxiang meant. Pengpeng was injured in Leishan. If there was really no way out, perhaps only Leishan could provide a rescue. Fortunately, Lin Moyu appeared and cured Lei Pengpeng. This time, Pengpeng went to Leishan not to save her life, but to practice. As the little princess of the Lei family, no one dared to object to her entering the core of Leishan. Lei Sanxiang said, Miss Xiaoye should gain a lot from entering the core of Leishan this time. Lin Moyu smiled, I hope so. I wonder when the trip to Leishan will start. Lei Sanxiang said, tomorrow at noon, when the origin of the sun is the strongest, we will open Leishan. The competition on the ring is in full swing. The people who were scrambled for the Leishan spot at the auction will also fight to the death here. The fights on each stage were extremely exciting. The practitioners used all their skills to fight for the top spot. Lei Pengpeng pulled Xiao Wu and Xiao Yu, constantly shuttling between the various stages, cheering for one and then going to another, having a lot of fun. In the stage, it is not easy to maintain 10 consecutive victories. But those who can achieve 10 consecutive victories are all strong people in the same realm. The stage competition will be held until the sun rises the next day. If the quota has not been released by then, these quotas will be sent out by the Lei family according to the stage results. So many people, even if they fail, as long as the results are acceptable, still have a glimmer of hope. Lin Moyu asked, what is the situation in Leishan? Lei Sanxiang said, it's not a secret. Under Leishan is an origin spiritual vein. Leicheng and my Lei family rely on this origin spiritual vein. This is a well-known thing, but many people don't know that there is a natural formation on this origin spiritual vein. This formation is extremely complex. Our Lei family has only cracked a small part of it over the years. Lei Sanxiang's words were brief and did not go into detail, but he believed that Lin Moyu could figure it out. What he said was not a big secret, and he would not tell the real secret. There is a natural formation on the origin of Leishan's spiritual vein, and the top leaders of Qin Duo's power know it. Lin Moyu said to himself, the natural formation on the origin of the spiritual vein is really difficult. The naturally formed formation is like a natural formation, and with the continuous power provided by the origin of the spiritual vein, it is really difficult to crack. Lei Sanxiang sighed, that's right, the 7th level formation master in the Hanshui Holy Land has come to see it, but the result is helpless. Lin Moyu suddenly asked, Senior Sanxiang, do you know which senior of the Lu family arranged the formation in the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce? Lei Sanxiang said, of course I know, the number 1 formation master in the Lu family is Senior Lu Fengqing, who is also a 7th level formation master. So his name is Lu Fengqing. Lu Fengqing and Lu Fengyao, it seems they are from the same family. Lin Moyu thought to himself, and he was relieved. He knew that Lu Fengqing would not really do anything to him. Lei Sanxiang continued to mutter, even the 7th level formation master can't do anything. Unless there is an 8th level formation master, my Lei family may really be helpless with this formation. In the origin continent, whether it is a formation master, a talisman master, an alchemist, or a weapon refiner, they can be divided into 1 to 9 levels. Levels 1 to 3 are directly called formation masters, alchemists 540, etc. Levels 4 to 6 can be called masters, such as alchemy masters and formation masters. And after the 7th level, they are respectfully called masters. No matter which one, once you become a master, your status will be completely different. Master-level people will be respected wherever they go. Lin Moyu thought to himself, with my rune level, I wonder what level I can be considered. Should I go to the Rune Master Association and register as a rune master? In this way, I will have an identity in the origin continent and it will be much more convenient to move around. Array masters need to understand instrument arrays and rune arrays. If you want to understand rune arrays, you need to know runes very well. But there is another type of rune master. Although some rune masters can arrange rune arrays, they do not use instrument arrays, so they study runes and take a completely different path. Rune masters tell everyone on the origin continent that runes are not only used to arrange arrays, but can also do many other things. Even many rune masters feel that as long as the rune array is evolved to the extreme, it will not be weaker than the array method combining runes and instruments. Lei Sanxiang looked at Lin Moyu with a smile. It seems that fellow Taoist Lin is also quite interested in refining pills and refining instruments. Lin Moyu said, I know nothing about alchemy and refining, but I know a thing or two about runes. I can try it after this trip to Leishan is over. Lei Sanxiang said, okay, I will take you there then. The sun sets and the moon rises. Under the shining of the lunar origin, the ring is still in full swing. Until the sun origin appears again, the sun and the moon complete the rotation, and the Lei family manager gives an order, and the ring game ends. Most of the 100 places have been sent out, and only a small number need to be allocated by the Lei family. The Lei family sends out the remaining places according to different realms and different scores. Some people are dissatisfied and raise objections during the process, but they are immediately suppressed by the Lei family. Lei Sanxiang and Lin Moyu stand in the air, watching the whole process. Lei Sanxiang said, what do you think of my Lei family's approach? Lin Moyu said, this is the world. It is impossible to convince people with reason. You can only convince people with fists. They are not wrong, and the country is not wrong. Lei Sanxiang said, in fact, my Lei family is doing this to tell them not to be so naive in the future. Lin Moyu deeply agrees, naive people will die early. Lei Sanxiang laughed loudly, yes, the evil one will die early. Let's go to Leishan. Don't worry about Peng Peng and the others. Someone will naturally bring them here. Within the sphere of influence of my Lei family, they will be fine even if they make a fuss. Lei Sanxiang flew towards Leishan, and Moyu followed closely. Leishan is not far from Leiqing, only about 100 kilometers. After flying for a while, the whole picture of Leishan has been seen. On Leishan, silver snakes are flying like dragons. The sound of thunder resounded through the sky. Leishan does not refer to a mountain, but a mountain range. There is a powerful origin spirit vein under the Leishan mountain range, and coupled with the natural formation, the entire mountain range is shrouded in thunder all year round. The closer to the center, the stronger it is. Lei Sanxiang introduced, the Leishan mountains are about 10,000 miles deep, and part of them are deep underground. No one knows how deep they are. The area open to our Lei family is the direction of Leiqing, 200 miles before entering the mountains. The core area is about 500 miles away. Lei Sanxiang took Lin Moyu into the Leishan mountains. After flying 100 miles, Lin Moyu saw an ancient castle. The castle was crowded with people, supporting a formation. The formation echoed the thunder in the sky, and was faintly connected to the formation in Leicheng. It was precisely because of the existence of this formation that Lin Moyu was not attacked by thunder after entering the Leishan Mountains. Lei Sanxiang said, if someone enters Leishan in normal times, they will be attacked by thunder. The deeper they go, the greater the power of thunder. After more than 1,000 miles, even a Taoist master will find it difficult to move. The Leishan mountain range is 10,000 miles deep, and Dao Zun can only enter within 1,000 miles. It can be seen how powerful Leishan is. Lin Moyu looked at the ancient castle, where many Lei family members were active. Is this ancient castle the place where the Lei family made their fortunes in the past? Lei Sanxiang laughed. Friend Dao Lin, you have good eyesight. This is indeed the place where my Lei family made their fortunes. Lin Moyu could see that the ancient castle was very simple, and many places in it were different from the style of the Lei family. Obviously, the ancient castle was not built by the Lei family. It is very likely that the Lei family discovered the ancient castle and made their fortunes by borrowing it. Lei Sanxiang did not hide it, which also shows that the Lei family has completely controlled this place and is not afraid of others knowing it. Lin Moyu observed carefully and found that the location of this ancient castle seemed very strange, just located in a very special position. But Lin Moyu could not see what was special about it, just felt that it was unusual. The two passed the ancient castle and continued forward. After flying more than 100 miles, the second castle appeared in sight. It looked the same as the previous castle, the only difference was the location. Lin Moyu frowned slightly, feeling more and more wrong. Lei Sanxiang noticed Lin Moyu's expression. Did Dao Yu Lin see anything? Lin Moyu thought for a while. The location of the two castles is a bit special. The two seem to be built along a special vein. They seem to be more than 100 miles apart, but they are actually a whole. Lei Sanxiang laughed. Dao Yu Lin has good eyesight. I said before that there is a natural formation in the Leishan Mountains, and the two castles are located on the nodes of this natural formation. It is precisely with these two that our Lei family can control this area. Lin Moyu showed a strange look. Isn't this a secret? Lei Sanxiang shook his head. Of course not. Many people know, but what if they know? Do they dare to rob? Even if the Taoist master of the Holy Land comes, he can't rob it. He said it with great confidence. Lin Moyu realized that these two castles might just be the power of the Lei family on the surface. The Lei family may control more than just these 2 points in the natural formation of the Leishan Mountains. The Lei family can manipulate the power of Leishan through the nodes they control. Even the Daozuan of the Holy Land cannot pose a threat to the Lei family. This is the Lei family's confidence. Leicheng is just the outside. The real foundation of the Lei family is in Leishan. After Lei Sanxiang took Lin Moyu over the second castle, he landed on a mountainside. After the mountainside was repaired, a circular square with a diameter of about 1 kilometer was formed. There are already many Lei family members here, and they are ready. Every time Leishan is opened, it is a big event for the Lei family, and the Lei family has been preparing early. When Lei Sanxiang arrived, the children of the Lei family greeted him one after another. A Lei family celestial master ran over quickly and saluted Lei Sanxiang respectfully. Third master, you are here. Lei Sanxiang waved his hand. You go and do your work first, don't worry about me. Okay, third master, do as you please. Lei Sanxiang is the younger brother of the Lei family's patriarch, ranking third, and the Lei family members call him third master. Lei Sanxiang pointed to the other side, where there were 200 Lei family members standing in a square formation. These are the children of my Lei family who are going to enter Leishan this time. Fellow Taoist Lin, take a look at this momentum, is it okay? The 200 Lei family members have different realms, from the super god realm to the supreme realm. They are dressed in uniform, all of them exude a powerful momentum. As members of the Lei family, most of them practice thunder magic, and their temperaments are extremely sharp. The whole person is like a sharp knife and thunder, which makes people, unable to look directly at them. This kind of sharpness will gradually disappear when you reach the celestial master realm, integrating yin and yang. Lin Moyu said, Lei Shan has a great opportunity. Why should the family share such a good opportunity? Lei Sanxiang laughed and said, the ancestor once said that any opportunity cannot be monopolized by one family and needs to be shared. Sometimes it is an opportunity, but also a cause and effect. It is not a good thing for one family to monopolize it. Lin Moyu has some understanding of cause and effect, so he can understand the meaning of Lei Sanxiang's words. Opportunity is also cause and effect. If the cause and effect are big, the Lei family may not be able to bear it. So dividing the quota and the opportunity is actually letting others share the cause and effect. Lin Moyu said, the ancestor of the Lei family is very wise. Lei Sanxiang said, indeed, the wisdom of the ancestor is beyond our comparison. Suddenly, a chill spread from afar like a sharp arrow, and the temperature dropped suddenly. Lei Sanxiang said, the people from the Hansui Holy Land have arrived. The troops of Hansui Holy Land came with a biting cold. The team of Lei Shui Holy Land came to the mountainside. Their team was huge, larger than the team of Lei family. At the front of the team was a sedan chair, which was extremely gorgeous and exquisite like a palace. At the front, pulling the sedan chair, were two white horses with wings and bodies as white as snow. This was the unique flying snow white horse of Hansui Holy Land. The flying snow white horse could not only be used to pull carriages and ride people, but also was an excellent fighting spirit beast. The weakest flying snow white horse after adulthood was also the supreme, and the powerful one could even reach the realm of Heavenly Master. Hansui Holy Land had an army composed of flying snow white horses, and its combat power was extremely terrifying. The Lei family gave Hansui Holy Land a full 400 ordinary places, plus 4 places in the core land. The specific distribution was entirely up to Hansui Holy Land. Generally, Hansui Holy Land would keep 100 ordinary places and 2 places in the core land, and distribute the rest. He has too many subordinates, and they need to share the profits. Maybe he doesn't want to be involved in such a big cause and effect. What the Lei family ancestor can understand, Hansui Holy Land can definitely understand. Those who got those quotas also came with the Hansui Holy Land team. In the Hansui Holy Land team, there are people wearing all kinds of clothes. Lei Sanxiang said loudly, who is the elder of the Holy Land team this time? The sedan chair opened, and with a chill, the Japanese flew out of the sedan chair. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed. What a coincidence. Lei Sanxiang asked 677, does fellow Taoist Lin know him? Lin Moyu nodded, Elder Gu Nianhai, I just met him some time ago. Gu Nianhai also saw Lin Moyu and narrowed his eyes. Boy, we meet again. Lin Moyu laughed. Lin Moyu greets the senior. Senior, how are you? I wonder if fellow Taoist Nianshui has come. Gu Nianhai waved his hand. Don't try to get close to me. You know what you have done. You are lucky that I didn't ask you to settle the score. At this time, a cold voice came from the sedan. Grandpa, I heard someone calling my name. The sedan opened again, and Gu Nianshui appeared at the door of the sedan. After seeing Lin Moyu, Gu Nianshui frowned slightly, and then smiled. Senior Lin, we meet again. Lin Moyu smiled and said, yeah, what a coincidence. Lin Moyu found that after not seeing each other for a while, Gu Nianshui's temperament had changed greatly. There was a faint murderous aura around him. Apparently he was practicing the secret method inherited by the Horned Dragon Star-Lord, and at the same time inherited the murderous aura of the Horned Dragon Star-Lord, but this level of murderous aura was too weak for him. Gu Nianshui's cultivation progressed very quickly, and in just a few days, he was about to reach the Supreme Realm. Before, he was a saint, and was 10 steps away from the Supreme, Bay. Now, not many days have passed, he has become a half-step Supreme, and after the trip to Lei Shan, he will become the Supreme. Lei Sanxiang has seen some clues, and there seems to be some problems between Lin Moyu and Gu Nianshui. Gu Nianshui came to Lin Moyu. Senior Lin, are you going to enter Thunder Mountain too? It seems that Thunder Mountain is useless to you. Lin Moyu said, "It's not me who entered Thunder Mountain, but my disciple." I didn't expect that Nianshui Dao Yu would come too. Gu Nianshui was a little surprised. I didn't expect that the senior actually accepted a disciple. I think he must be a very talented person. Lin Moyu laughed. It's okay, but I can't compare to Nianshui Dao Yu. Dao Yu has made great progress in cultivation recently. It seems that Xuanjuan's inheritance is extraordinary. Gu Nianshui also laughed lightly. Nianshui's murderous aura is nothing compared to the senior. Even the murderous aura of the Star Lord is just child's play in front of the senior. The two of them laughed at each other like two old foxes. Lei Sanxiang was slightly surprised. I heard before that there was a genius in the Holy Land who got the inheritance of a certain Star Lord. I didn't expect him to be so young. Gu Nianshui saluted towards Lei Sanxiang. Senior, you are too kind. Nianshui is just lucky. It is also because Senior Lin did not compete with me, otherwise this inheritance would not be my turn. Lei Sanxiang felt that he could not understand Lin Moyu more and more. Not only could he cure injuries that even Dao Zun was helpless to treat, but he also possessed 3 great ways, and now he could even give up the inheritance of Xingjian. And from what they said, the murderous aura of the Star Lord is not as good as Lin Moyu. There are only a few Star Lords who are famous for their murderous aura, and the most likely ones are. Lei Sanxiang looked at Gu Nianhai. Fellow Taoist Gu, is the Star Lord inheritance obtained by the Holy Land the Horned Dragon Star Lord? Gu Nianhai smiled. Yes, it is the Horned Dragon Star Lord. Lei Sanxiang murmured, the Horned Dragon Star Lord is in charge of killing. Every time he appears in the world, he will inevitably set off a bloody storm. I don't know where the bloody place is this time. Gu Nianhai said, our Holy Land has already had a countermeasure, so fellow Taoist Lei doesn't have to worry. Lei Sanxiang nodded. Well, I believe the Holy Land will handle it. At the same time, he sent a voice transmission to Lin Moyu. Fellow Taoist Lin, you have to be careful. Lin Moyu nodded slightly in response. He would naturally be careful. It would be best not to provoke the Holy Land. If he really had to provoke it, although he couldn't beat him, it would not be a problem to save his life. Another team came over. This team was extremely large. They were all people who had won the quota through the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce and those who had won the quota in the arena competition. They came here under the leadership of the Lei family. You can't walk around in Leishan. Once you leave the range of the formation, you may be bombarded by thousands of thunders. The Lei family had been waiting outside Leicheng early and brought everyone here when they arrived. Lei Pengpeng, Xiao Wu, and Xiaoye were also in the team. The 3 of them sat on the back of the calf and flew at the front of the team. With Lei Pengpeng, the little princess of the Lei family, she could do whatever she wanted, and the Lei family would only follow her and dare not have any objections. After meeting Lin Moyu, Xiao Lu commanded Nyo to fly over. Xiao Wu took the lead, flew out of Nyo, turned into lightning and hung on Lin Moyu. Master, why did you come here alone first? Lin Moyu laughed. Why did you hang on again? Xiao Lu sniffed the smell on Lin Moyu's body with her little nose. It's been a long time since I hung on. Xiao Wu wants to hang on for a while. Xiao Lu doesn't care about other people's eyes. As long as she wants to hang on, she must hang on. Lin Moyu also knew, so she let him do it. After all, she is also a Tianzuan, and there are few people who dare to laugh at her. Lei Pengpeng asked curiously, is it fun for Sister Xiao Wu to hang on? Xiao Wu nodded, it's fun, the master smells so good. Lei Pengpeng said, I want to hang on too. Ahem. Lei Sanxiang immediately stopped Lei Pengpeng. Pengpeng, yes. Lei Pengpeng said, oh, you can. She could only give up. She naturally knew that it was not possible. Xiao Yu finally jumped off Nyo and called sweetly, Master. Lin Moyu touched Xiaoye's head. Don't be nervous, practice well later. Xiaoye nodded. Master, don't worry, Xiaoye will practice hard. Gu Nianshui's eyes lit up. Senior Lin, is this the disciple you accepted? Lin Moyu nodded, the only disciple. Gu Nianxue said, she said her name is Xiaoye. Is she Xiaoye from Linhai City? Lin Moyu looked at Gu Nianxue unkindly. Some things are over. Gu Nianxue suddenly stagnated. He felt an invisible pressure falling on him. Lin Moyu's eyes contained murderous intent, which made him very uncomfortable. At this time, Gu Nianhai took a step forward and blocked in front of Gu Nianxue, also staring at Lin Moyu unkindly. Lei Sanxiang also moved half a step without saying a word, just blocking in front of Lin Moyu. The atmosphere suddenly became weird. The incident of the Lan family in Linhai City happened not long ago. At that time, Lan Tianyu secretly attacked and wanted to hurt someone named Xiaoye. The name matched, the age matched, and Lin Moyu had also been in Linhai City before, so Gu Nianxue instinctively felt that the Xiaoye in front of him was the Xiaoye that Lan Tianyu was talking about. Xiaoye hid behind Lin Moyu and carefully poked her head out. Master, did I say something wrong? She was like a child who had done something wrong, lowering her head and was very scared. Xiaoxi jumped off Lin Moyu and glared at Gu Nianxue and others. Who dares to bully Sister Xiaoye? Believe it or not, I will make him suffer a great misfortune. She was not afraid of Gu Nianxue and others at all, because her eyes were more discerning than anyone else. It was a pity that Xiao Wu looked too cute, and her fierce appearance did not have any deterrent power. But Xiao Wu's aura of the Tianzuan realm was real, and it was not deceptive at all. Lei Pengpeng also joined in. Who dares to bully Xiaoye? I'll ask the first one who doesn't agree. She suddenly glanced at Xiao Wu, and then quickly changed her words. No, the second one who doesn't agree. The originally tense atmosphere became a little more relaxed with the addition of these two funny guys. Lin Moyu reached out and patted Xiao Wu on the head. Why are you yelling? You have nothing to do here. Xiao Wu's head shrank. Don't hit people on the head, it will make them stupid. Lin Moyu smiled and ignored her, but looked at Gu Nianxue. This matter is over, and the Lan family is no longer there. If you want to talk about this matter, then Lin can only sacrifice his life to accompany you. Although the Holy Land is strong, I am not afraid of the group. Lin Moyu said it very bluntly. Xiaoye is the Xiaoye mentioned by Lan Tianyu. I did Lan Tianyu's thing. What do you want? Gu Nianhai sneered repeatedly. The boy is very brave. A mere Tianzuan dares to challenge the Holy Land. Lin Moyu shook his head. Senior is wrong. I have never thought of challenging the Holy Land. It's just that I believe in a saying, once a teacher, a father for life. Whoever wants to touch my disciples, I, as a master, will naturally not agree. And he looked at Gu Nianxue. Fellow Taoist Nianxue, don't forget your soul oath. Even if the Holy Land has means to evade it, I think it will have to pay a price. Fellow Taoist Nianxue, think about it and see if it's worth it. Lin Moyu was very tough and had no intention of giving in. Gu Nianhai said coldly, it's just a soul oath. At this time, Lei Sanxiang suddenly interrupted Gu Nianhai. Fellow Taoist Gu, you are a distinguished guest of our Lei family. Gu Nianhai raised his eyebrows. Does your Lei family also want to participate in this matter? Lei Sanxiang said, little friend Lin has done a great favor to my Lei family. Within the scope of our Lei family, we must protect him. Gu Nianhai obviously didn't believe it. He is just a Tianzuan. What great favor can he do to your Lei family? 1. Lei Pengpeng jumped up. My illness was cured by the senior. People from your Holy Land have also come to see it, but they have no solution at all. It's really useless. After saying that, Lei didn't forget to make a face. Gu Nianhai was shocked. He looked at Lei Sanxiang. Really? Lei Sanxiang nodded. It's true. Fellow Taoist Lin is the benefactor of my Lei family. We can't just sit back and do nothing. Gu Nianhai knew about Lei Pengpeng's illness. At that time, a Taoist master in the Holy Land went to see him, but he was helpless. I didn't expect that Lei Pengpeng's strange illness was actually cured by Lin Moyu. Gu Nianhai knew that Lei Sanxiang would not joke about this matter. It must be true. Now, things became tricky. He wanted to attack Lin Moyu, at least not within the Lei family. Even though the Lei family obeyed the orders of the Hansui Holy Land, the Lei family was not like other forces that were dependent on the Hansui Holy Land. On the contrary, in addition to Lei Qing, there were many forces that also relied on the origin spiritual vein that snaked out from Lei Shan. These forces can basically be regarded as the subordinates of the Lei family. If the Holy Land must fight with the Lei family, it will naturally win, but it will also pay a heavy price. The Lei family is not a soft persimmon, and it is not something that can be squeezed at will. Hey, it's so lively! Suddenly a voice sounded, and several people turned their heads and saw someone flying from afar. He did not move forward according to the route given by the Lei family, but walked on the edge of the formation. Countless thunders fell from the sky and struck him. But strangely, whenever the thunder was about to strike him, he could always dodge at the last moment. No matter how dense the thunder was, it could not strike him. Just this move has revealed the extraordinary nature of the other party. Gu Nianhai frowned at the person who came. Crazy old man, why are you here? *************. Lei Sanxiang also laughed and said, "It turns out to be Senior Fengqing. What brings you here?" The person who came was Lu Fengqing, and only a master of formations like him could move freely in this natural formation. Lu Fengqing kept wandering in the formation, passing through the thousands of thunders without being touched by a single thunder. He was a bit unrestrained, like a true immortal, flew out of the formation, and came to the front of several people. It happened that I was hosting an auction in Leiqing and found some interesting things, so I stayed for a few days. It just so happened that your Lei family's Leishan was opened, so I came to join in the fun. Gu Nianhai blew his beard. When did you, a crazy old man, join in the fun? I think you want to take advantage of the formation in Leishan. Lu Fengqing snorted. With your wisdom, it's hard for me to explain to you. Just say whatever you say. You! Gu Nianhai shouted angrily, and the breath of the Daozuan realm surged. Lu Fengqing said coldly, "What? You want to fight me? Believe it or not, I will surround you with magic." Gu Nianhai shouted angrily, "You dare?" Lu Fengqing snorted, "What's there to be afraid of? If you don't believe me, you can try it." Gu Nianhai was so angry that he blew his beard and glared. He knew very well that this crazy old man could really make a bed. Lu Fengqing ignored Gu Nianhai and looked at Lin Moyu. "Why are you here instead of studying the formation well?" Lin Moyu said, "My junior disciple is going to enter Leishan, and I have mastered the formation you gave me." Lu Fengqing said, "Oh," and suddenly his eyes widened. "What did you say? You have mastered it? Is it the first method?" Lin Moyu shook his head. "I have mastered all three formations." Lu Fengqing's eyes were filled with shock, and more of disbelief. "Show it to me." Lin Moyu took out a handful of origin crystals, which seemed to pop out casually, and the origin crystals quickly formed a mind formation. Lu Fengqing's eyes widened and almost popped out. "Have you learned it before?" Lin Moyu's movements were natural and freehand, not like someone who had just come into contact with the array. Lin Moyu shook his head. "I have seen the array, but I have never learned it." Lu Fengqing's eyes swept over Lin Moyu, and finally suddenly said to Gu Nianhai, "Old man, if you dare to touch him, I will never let you go." Gu Nianhai also stared at Lu Fengqing, showing no weakness in momentum. "What is his relationship with your Lufeng Chamber of Commerce?" Lu Fengqing said, "He is a senior member of our Lufeng Chamber of Commerce. Do you think he is related?" Gu Nianhai said, "He is just a senior member. There are so many senior members in your Lufeng Chamber of Commerce. Have they never died? Although senior members can enjoy some privileges and preferential treatment in Lufeng Chamber of Commerce, there are so many senior members. How can Lufeng Chamber of Commerce take care of everyone? And there are several senior members in Hansui Holy Land. How can a senior member fight against a senior member?" Lu Fengqing began to be unreasonable. "I said it is related. Anyway, if you dare to touch him, I will not agree." Gu Nianhai looked at Lu Fengqing's crazy look, and then looked at the mine array, and seemed to think of something. His face became extremely ugly, and he realized that Lin Moyu or Urkaki may have a strong talent for formations. and in recent years, Lu Fengqing seems to have been looking for disciples. If Lu Fengqing believes that Lin Moyu is his disciple, then he really can't do it. And if you think about it carefully, there is no real deep hatred between him and Lin Moyu. In this situation now, he is more concerned about his own face. If he retreats, where will his face be? If it gets out in the future, he will lose face. As a Taoist master, he can do nothing else, but face is the most important. Just when he was in a dilemma, Gu Nianxue said, "Grandpa, you promised your grandson that you would let your grandson handle Senior Lin's affairs by yourself." Gu Nianhai suddenly found a way out. Grandpa forgot about this matter. He swept his eyes over several people and snorted coldly, "For Nianxue's sake, let's just forget about this matter." After that, he turned around and returned to the sedan chair and never showed up again. Finally, he had a way out. If he continued to stalemate, he would definitely lose face again. Gu Nianxue said to Lin Moyu, "Senior Lin is right. The matter of the Lan family in Linhai City has passed. Miss Xiaoya's identity is not important." Nianxue was abrupt in this matter. "Please don't be offended by it." Lin Moyu said, "It's just a misunderstanding." Gu Nianxue bowed, "Senior, you are magnanimous. Nianxue will remember it and will repay you generously in the future." After that, he bowed to Lu Fengqing and Lei Sanxiang, and then returned to the sedan chair. Xiao Wu frowned, "Master, why do I feel that this person has something to say?" Lin Moyu smiled, "Of course there is something to say, but it doesn't matter. This matter is not important." Lei Sanxiang frowned, "The people of the Holy Land Gu family are not easy to mess with, and he has inherited the inheritance of the Horned Dragon Star Lord. Fellow Taoist Lin should be careful in the future." "Thank you for your reminder, I will be careful." Lin Moyu didn't care about Gu Nianxue's words. If he dared to come to him in the future, it would be hard to say who would repay whom generously. What about the inheritance of the Horned Dragon Star Lord? In his eyes, it was nothing more than that. Xiao Wu said cautiously, "Master, I want to curse him." Lin Moyu shook his head, "No, there is a Taoist master beside him, he will be discovered, and he has many treasures on him, so he will not be easily affected." Xiao Wu thought for a while, "It doesn't matter, I will curse after I go in. I have memorized her breath, she can't escape." Lin Moyu smiled, "It's up to you, be careful." At this time, Lu Fengqing suddenly reached out and grabbed Lin Moyu. "Come here, I have something to say to you." Lin Moyu said, "Senior, can't I say it here if you have something to say?" Lu Fengqing shouted, "Come here when I tell you to, so much nonsense." Lei Sanxiang laughed, "Don't worry, Lin Daoyu, Miss Xiaoya will be fine here." Lei Pengpeng also promised, "Don't worry, I will protect Xiaoya." Lu Fengqing pulled Lin Moyu and flew to the corner of the platform. With a wave of his hand, a formation was formed naturally. He took Lin Moyu into the formation and immediately isolated it from the outside world. The world in the formation seemed like an independent world. Lin Moyu asked, "Senior, do you have any important instructions?" Lu Fengqing said, "Tell me the truth, have you really never learned the formation before?" Lin Moyu answered firmly, "No." Lu Fengqing continued to ask, "Then how long did it take you to master the mind formation?" Lin Moyu calculated carefully, "About 2 hours." Lu Fengqing's eyes widened again, "2 hours?" Lin Moyu said, "About the same, I didn't calculate carefully, the difference should not be too big." Lu Fengqing snorted twice, "Do you know how long it takes for a normal formation master to comprehend the mind formation?" Lin Moyu shook his head to indicate that he didn't know. Lu Fengqing made a strange cry, "If you can comprehend it in a month, it is considered a rare genius. You only took 2 hours. If you are not bragging, then you must be a demon." Lin Moyu smiled bitterly, "Is it so difficult? Maybe it's because my realm is higher, so I can comprehend it faster." "Bullshit!" Lu Fengqing cursed, "The mind array is only a first-level array. As long as you are above the other shore realm, you can set it up. This is not a matter of realm at all, see." He rolled his eyes. Come on, I have a Kuei inlay array here, you learn it on the spot. Lu Fengqing stuffed a jade card to Lin Moyu without saying anything and asked him to learn it on the spot. Lin Moyu took the jade card and smiled helplessly. Is it so urgent? Lu Fengqing urged. Yes, it's so urgent, immediately, right away. Lin Moyu still didn't do it, but continued to ask, then is the matter of the junior at the auction considered settled? Lu Fengqing waved his hand. It's settled, you quickly learn it for me, system to waste time. It's good to be settled, just learn it. Lin Moyu's soul power moved, and his consciousness channeled the jade card, and the method of setting up the Kuei inlay array was immediately transmitted. Kuei inlay array is a second-level array, and it is more difficult among the second-level arrays. The difficulty lies in that this is a weapon array. It requires the foundation of both the weapon array and the talisman array, and they must be integrated together. The fusion process is somewhat complicated, with many key points, and if you are not careful, it will cause the array to collapse. The difficulty is several times higher than the previous watermine array. Seeing Lin Moyu start to learn, Lu Fengqing started counting. I want to see if you are bragging. It takes 3 to 6 months for ordinary geniuses to master the Kuei inlay array. It takes 1 to 2 months for top geniuses. The brat is very familiar with the talisman array. According to this, he should be faster than the top geniuses. I don't know if Tian is enough. According to the speed of the watermine array, it should not take 10 days, maybe 3 or 5 days will be enough. Time passed little by little, and the Lei family officially opened the Thunder Mountain. Thunder roared through the world, and a formation appeared. Everyone entered Leishan with a token in hand, and the formation would send people to different areas according to the token. There is a huge difference between the core area and the ordinary area. One by one, people disappeared into the formation. Lei Pengpeng and Xiaoye walked in hand and disappeared. Mist rose in Xiao Wu's eyes, and she kept muttering, I will curse you, and you will be in big trouble. The Thunder Mountain was opened, and the thunder did not affect Lin Moyu in the formation. Lu Fengqing's formation blocked all the sounds from the outside world, allowing Lin Moyu to study with peace of mind. 4 hours later, under Lu Fengqing's shocked eyes, Lin Moyu suddenly moved. He ejected one origin crystal after another, a total of 99 first-order origin crystals, combined into a peculiar structure. The origin breath quickly connected with Lin Moyu's soul power as a bridge. In a blink of an eye, a weapon formation had been formed, but Lin Moyu did not activate it. Then, he began to make runes. One by one, ancient runes were drawn and flew into the already formed formation, merging with the formation. A total of 9 complex ancient runes flew into the formation, and Lin Moyu used his soul power to connect the 9 ancient runes and make them complete the connection and become a whole. In a blink of an eye, in the same space area, a department and a formation existed at the same time. However, neither formation was activated. Lin Moyu still used soul power as a bridge to connect the 2 formations together. In an instant, the formation was activated, and thunder sounded in the formation. Unlike the magnificent thunder outside, this is Yin thunder, which is terribly low. The thunder in Leishan is Yang thunder, with a strong masculine aura, burning the soul and destroying the body. The thunder in Kuei inlay formation is Yin thunder, which sounds dull and powerless. It seems that it will not cause any injuries when it falls on the body, but it can actually cause damage directly from the inside of the body. And Yin thunder will remain in the body and is difficult to cure. In the eyes of many people, Yin thunder is more difficult to deal with than Yang thunder. After Lin Moyu set up the formation, he looked at Lu Fengqing. Senior, is it okay? Lu Fengqing was speechless. He thought that Lin Moyu should be able to set up the formation within 3 to 5 days, and the premise was that he was not exaggerating about the previous watermine formation. But he never expected that Lin Moyu mastered the formation and set it up in just 5 hours. The whole process was done in one go. Although the speed was not fast, it was definitely not something that a first-time learner could do. Ask yourself which formation master did not make progress through repeated failures and eventually achieve success. At this moment, Lu Fengqing thought of the process of learning Kai Shui Yin Lei formation. It was really a tearful and unbearable past. Hearing Lin Muiyu's words and listening to the Yin Lei formation, Lu Fengqing said, "It's okay, but the speed of setting up the formation is a bit slow and not very practical." Lin Muiyu said, "It's indeed a bit slow. If you can wave your hands to form a formation like the senior, you can play a big role when fighting the enemy." Lu Fengqing coughed lightly. "You are still far from reaching my level. But you have a good talent. I have a suggestion. You can consider it." Judging from Lu Fengqing's attitude and tone, Lin Muiyu had guessed 3 or 5 points, but he still said, "Senior, please speak." Lu Fengqing said, "I am already a 7th level formation master, and I just need a disciple. I am satisfied with your talent, so I want to take you as my disciple." Lin Muiyu looked apologetic. "Thank you for your kindness, senior. I already have a master, so I can't take you as my master." Lu Fengqing frowned. "Where is your city master?" Lin Muiyu shook his head. "I don't know where he is for the time being." The masters he was referring to were Bai Yuan, Ming Anwen, and Yin Guangsheng. The 3 of them were his enlightenment teachers. Once a teacher, a father for life. Muiyu could not accept others as his teacher. Lu Fengqing looked at Lin Muiyu's appearance and knew that he was not lying. "Is your master also a Taoist master?" Lin Muiyu shook his head. "No." Lu Fengqing frowned even tighter. "Could it be a heavenly master?" Lin Muiyu said, "My master is an enlightenment teacher, not even a super god realm." Lu Fengqing was stunned on the spot. "Your enlightenment teacher is not even a super god realm?" The super god realm is too far away from him. He can't imagine how someone who is not even a super god realm can cultivate such a young heavenly master. It can only be said that this disciple has a strong talent, all by his own practice, not by the teaching of the master. Lin Muiyu said, "This has nothing to do with cultivation. Once you become a teacher, you will be a father for life. When I was insignificant, masters treated me like a son, so I will treat master like a father." Lu Fengqing also became serious at this time. "You are now a heavenly master. If your master is not even in the super god realm, he may have died." Lin Muiyu said, "It has nothing to do with life and death. I will never have another master in this life. So I can only be." Lin Muiyu said very firmly. This is his true inner thought and cannot be changed. He didn't say half of his words. Now Ming Anwen and the other 2 are missing. He doesn't believe that Ming Anwen is dead. In the ancient battlefield in the big world, there are traces of the Xinxia Tower, and there are also Ming Anwen's words. All signs indicate that Ming Anwen and the other 2 are not dead. The old Taoist in green robe took the entire small world away, which may be the reason why Ming Anwen survived. Lu Fengqing saw Lin Muiyu was so determined that he could only sigh helplessly in the end. "How about this? I invite you to be a formation master in Lufeng Chamber of Commerce." Lin Muiyu has been determined to develop his own power, so it is naturally impossible for him to be a formation master in Lufeng Chamber of Commerce, but he has not refused yet. Lu Fengqing continued, "Don't rush to refuse. I invite you to be a formation master, not to join the Chamber of Commerce. There are many formation masters in the Chamber of Commerce. In addition to the direct formation masters of the Chamber of Commerce like me, there are also many guest formation masters. These formation masters don't have to do anything for the Chamber of Commerce at ordinary times. They will only take action when the Chamber of Commerce makes a request at 900. And the Chamber of Commerce will not force them to accept the requirements. It is all voluntary. They can do whatever they want at ordinary times, and the Chamber of Commerce will not interfere. I can tell you that there are many guest formation masters in the Chamber of Commerce who are elders of other sects or even patriarchs of other families. It doesn't matter. You don't have to pay anything at ordinary times, just take action when the Chamber of Commerce makes a request, and it is voluntary and you can refuse. If you complete the Chamber of Commerce's requirements, you can get the Chamber of Commerce's rewards. Is there such a good thing in the world? Lin Moyu couldn't believe it. Lin Moyu said, how can I be qualified when my formation level is so poor? Lu Fengqing said, you are indeed not qualified now. The guest formation masters in the Chamber of Commerce are at least 4th level formation masters. But what I value is your future. You will definitely become a formation master, or even a formation master in the future. I can also make a promise to you here. As long as you agree, I can give you a lot of formation information for free. These materials are not cheap to buy, and you may not be able to buy them even if you have money. Lu Fengqing is like a bad guy who is trying to trick a child with candy. What he is betting on is Lin Moyu's future. But for him, if Lin Moyu doesn't become a talent in the future, all he will lose is a piece of information. Lu Fengqing said, what do you think? Do you agree? Faced with Lu Fengqing's gracious invitation, Lin Moyu could not find a reason to refuse. Although he had only come into contact with a few formations, Lin Moyu had already developed a strong interest in the way of formations. For example, the Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation that he arranged by himself, which can be divided into the talisman formation and the instrument formation. The Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation is almost the top existence among the 2nd level formations, and the disassembled talisman formation is only a 1st level formation, and the formation is also the most common formation in the 2nd level. After the two are combined, it becomes the top 2nd level formation. The combination of the instrument formation and the talisman formation is very powerful, which aroused Lin Moyu's interest. Now, with such a great benefit in front of him, Lin Moyu naturally would not refuse. Lin Moyu said, I agree. Lu Fengqing laughed, not bad, not bad, come on, I will take you back to the Chamber of Commerce to sign the agreement. But before that, you have to go to the Formation Master for assistance and register as a Formation Master. As he said this, he withdrew his formation, and the thunder outside came in immediately. Lin Moyu hurriedly stopped him, don't worry, my disciple has already entered Thunder Mountain. After she comes out, we will go back together. Lu Fengqing thought for a while, yes, there is no rush. But I can give you the basic information of the Formation Master first. As he said this, he stuffed a jade card into Lin Moyu's hand. Here are most of the information of the Formation Master, and most of the formations from level 1 to level 3. I will give you other information later. Boom! Suddenly, a thunderclap sounded above their heads. The thunder was very close to their ears, and at the same time, there was a huge force gathering above their heads. Lin Moyu looked up and saw that a dark cloud had appeared in the sky at some point, and electric snakes were flying and circling in the dark cloud, as if they would fall at any time. Lu Fengqing's face changed. Oh no, you should put away the Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation. At this time, the Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation was still running, and at the same time, a dull thunder sounded. Lin Moyu then realized that the dark clouds in the sky were not targeting him, but the Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation. The thunder in Leishan is Yang Thunder, and the thunder in Wushui Yin formation is Yin Thunder. Yin and Yang complement and counteract each other. The appearance of Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation broke the special balance and attracted a large number of Yang Thunder. Lei Sanxiang also noticed the abnormality here at this time. Under the control of the Lei family, there should be no thunder here. Lin Moyu immediately wanted to put away the Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation, but found that the Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation had lost control and could not be taken back. It seemed to be locked by some force and had solidified there. Cannot take back the formation. Lin Moyu tried several times, but failed. Lu Fengqing also discovered this and said in a low voice, cut off the connection with the formation. The Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation was arranged by Lin Moyu and had a special connection with Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu immediately cut off the connection with the Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation, but it was still a step too late. When his consciousness just rose, a thunder fell from the sky and struck the Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation. The Kuei-Shui Yin Lei formation was shattered on the spot. How could a mere 2nd level formation compare to the thunder of Leishan Mountain? The thunder of Leishan Mountain smashed the Kaishui Inlay formation with an extremely strong force, and a large amount of thunder power followed the connection between souls and attacked Lin Moyu. The power of thunder was so powerful that it exceeded the limit of Tianzuan. Lu Fengqing shouted loudly, and the power of Daozuan burst out. He pointed out with one finger, just above the thunder. The runes on the fingertips flashed, and a formation was instantly generated. Bang! Amid the sound of breaking, Lu Fengqing was blasted back with a muffled groan, and the formation on his fingertips was also broken on the spot. The power of thunder was amazing, as if the appearance of the Kuei-Shui Inlay formation had angered him. What a strong power! Lu Fengqing thought in his heart. The power of thunder exceeded his imagination, and he couldn't stop it in a hurry. Even Dao Zun couldn't stop it, let alone Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu had no time to dodge and was hit by thunder. The ground exploded, and Lin Moyu disappeared with the lightning. Thunder rushed over 3 times. What happened? Lu Fengqing also rushed back. It was my negligence. Fellow Taoist Lin's formation attracted the thunder of Leishan. Where Lin Moyu was originally, there was only a large pit with a diameter of about 10 meters. This square was built by the Lei family using a special method, using a lot of rare materials, and it has a strong resistance to thunder. When the Leishan Mountain is closed and the Lei family is not controlling it, this square is constantly under the attack of the thunder of the Leishan Mountain. The thunder of the Tianzuan realm can't hurt the square at all. Now that a big pit can be blasted out of the square, it means that the power of this thunder has reached the Daozuan realm. Looking at Lu Fengqing's appearance, you can know that he has indeed reached the Daozuan realm. Lin Moyu is only in the Tianzuan realm. No matter how strong his talent is, Tianzuan is Tianzuan. How can he withstand the attack of Daozuan realm? Lei Sanxiang thought in an instant that Lin Moyu might be dead. He whispered, "Senior Fengqing, is fellow Taoist Lin dead?" Lu Fengqing was not sure at this time. It's hard to say. Although Tianzuan can't withstand the attack of thunder, he won't be completely destroyed. Even if there is no body, there will be more or less traces left, but there is nothing here now. So I think that fellow Taoist Lin may still be alive. After carefully looking at the pit, Lei Sanxiang felt that what Lu Fengqing said made sense. I don't think fellow Taoist Lin is a short-lived person. He should still be alive. At this time, Xiao Wu also rushed over. She didn't look panicked at all. The master is still alive. I can sense it. Lei Sanxiang asked, "Miss Xiao Wu can really sense fellow Taoist Lin?" Xiao Wu nodded. "Of course, the master is still alive, living better than anyone else." Lei Sanxiang asked, "Can you sense where fellow Taoist Lin went?" Xiao Wu carefully sensed it, pointed in a direction and said, "It's there. I don't know how far it is. The master seems to be in a special environment." Looking in the direction pointed by Xiao Wu, Lei Sanxiang's face became a little ugly. Why would he go there? The direction Xiao Wu pointed to was deep in the Leishan Mountains. Because he didn't know the exact location, Lei Sanxiang didn't know where Lin Moyu was. But he knew that no matter where Lin Moyu was, the depths of the Leishan Mountains were not a place that Tianzuan could go. Even if he was a Taoist, he had to be careful inside. If he took a wrong step, he might be doomed. Lu Fengqing said in a deep voice, "Is there any way?" Lei Sanxiang said, "If he is really inside, it will be troublesome." Lei Sanxiang immediately sent a message to Lei Zhengying and told him what happened here. A moment later, he received a message from Lei Zhengying saying that he was on his way, and Lei Sanxiang was relieved. "Brother is on his way, let's talk about it when he arrives." Xiao Wu was not worried at all. The beauty will be fine. The two did not take Xiao Wu's words seriously, especially Lei Sanxiang, who knew the Leishan Mountains best. Tianzuan was in there, basically dead. In the sedan chair in the distance, Gu Nianhai said coldly, "If Tianzuan enters the depths of Leishan Mountain range, he will die." Gu Nianhai's eyes were cold. In fact, Lin Moyu had no grudge against him, but Lin Moyu took advantage of Gu Nianshui, which made him feel that he had lost face. This time, because Lei Sanxiang and Lu Fengqing tried their best to protect Lin Moyu, Gu Nianhai felt that he had lost face again. Gu Nianhai wished that Lin Moyu would die. The wind and thunder roared, countless thunders exploded, and Lei Zhengying broke through thousands of thunders and roared. As a Taoist master, Lei Zhengying's strength was much stronger than Lei Sanxiang. He regarded the thunder in Leishan as nothing, like a god of war descending. Lei Zhengying, wearing a thunder and lightning snake, asked in a deep voice, "What happened?" Lu Fengqing also knew Lei Zhengying, and immediately told him what happened just now. Lei Zhengying frowned. The thunder in Leishan is extremely yang thunder, which is inductive with yin thunder, and they complement and counteract each other. He looked thoughtfully into the depths of the mountain. "Let me see." Lei Zhengying's figure became illusory. In the eyes of everyone, it seemed that several Lei Zhengying flew out of his body, like countless clones, rushing into the sky, or drilling into the earth, merging into Leishan from all directions and corners. Lu Fengqing had a little envy in his eyes. With tens of millions of clones, the cultivation of the Lei family master has improved again. Lei Sanxiang said, "Xian Qingqian is too kind." In the distance, Gu Nianhai's pupils shrank suddenly, and he whispered 407, tens of millions of clones. He also had envy in his eyes, and at the same time some jealousy. Lei Zhengying's strength far exceeded his. After a moment, Lei Zhengying's illusory figure became solid again. "I did sense that someone had entered the depths of the mountains, but I can't find the exact location." Lu Fengqing said, "Even you can't find it?" Lei Zhengying nodded. "The environment in the depths of the mountains is too complicated. I need time." "Sanxiang, come and help me find it." Lei Sanxiang nodded. "Okay." The two quickly went to the depths of the square, where there was a formation arranged by the Lei family. Lu Fengqing did not follow. After all, it was the formation of the Lei family, and he, a formation master, was not suitable for medical practice. In the depths of the square, a formation was in operation, and the children of the Lei family surrounded the formation and guarded it. The two brothers of Lei Zhengying came to the formation, and Lei Sanxiang said, "Brother, where is fellow Taoist Lin?" He knew that Lei Zhengying must have found Lin Moyu, but he said he didn't find it, which must be a problem. Lei Zhengying had a little worry between his eyebrows. "I did find it, in that place." Lei Sanxiang's face also became extremely ugly in an instant. "How could it be?" Lei Zhengying sighed. "Fellow Taoist Lin, it seems that this time, it will be troublesome." Lei Sanxiang knew that it was more than trouble. "If you entered there, you would be dead." In the history of the Lei family, there was no precedent that Tianzuan entered there and came out alive. Even if Daozuan went there, if he was lucky, he would be skinned, and if he was unlucky, he would be seriously injured. Lei Zhengying said, "If fellow Taoist Lin really can't come back, then take good care of Miss Xiaoye and Miss Xiaowu. This is the last thing we can do for fellow Taoist Lin." Lei Guxiang sighed helplessly. "That's the only way." Suddenly, a strange breath rose. The two looked back at the same time, and saw a robe rising from Xiaowu's body, flying around Xiaowu like a dragon. Lu Fengqing, who was beside Xiaowu, was shocked at this moment. The road of the power of emptiness. Lei Zhengying took a step forward and came to Xiaowu's side in an instant. "Little girl, what are you going to do?" Xiaowu gritted his teeth and said, "I want to help the master." Xiaowu closed his eyes and tried his best to control the avenue. After a while, his face was pale, as if he had exerted too much force. "Help Lin Moyu?" Lin Moyu is now in the depths of Thunder Mountain. How can Xiaowu help? He suddenly realized something, waved his hand, and the powerful power of the Taoist master surged out. Thunder roared in the sky, and thunder fell one after another, and the surroundings turned into a sea of thunder. Lei Zhengying used his method to protect Xiaowu. Lu Fengqing was surprised. It turned out to be a heavenly master who achieved the power of the void. The meaning of the heavenly master who achieved the power of the void is only known to them, the Taoist masters. Compared with ordinary heavenly masters, the heavenly master who achieved the power of the void has many times greater possibilities in the future. And the power of the void is ethereal, and all kinds of, strange and wonderful uses are not comparable to ordinary avenues. Lei Sanxiang knew that Xiao Wu had the power of the void a long time ago, but he never knew which avenue Luo Xiao Yuan's power of the void belonged to. Lei Zhengying looked at Xiao Wu's avenue. It changes unpredictably, and her luck is bad. Could it be the avenue of luck? Lu Fengqing's face became even more shocked this time. The avenue of luck. This avenue actually has a comprehender. Lei Zhengying said, maybe I saw it wrong. When the little girl wakes up, I will know it tomorrow. Lu Fengqing thought about it. If it is really the avenue of luck, then the little girl. Lei Zhengying frowned and said in a deep voice, Miss Xiao Wu is also a benefactor of my Lei family. No one should think of taking advantage of her. Lu Fengqing shook his head hurriedly, Master Lei, don't misunderstand. If Miss Xiao Wu really comprehended the avenue of luck, on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I would like to invite Miss Xiao Wu to become our guest elder. Lei Zhengying looked at Lu Fengqing and said, if that's the case, then it's okay. He knew the strength of the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce very well. Although it and the Lei family were both six-star forces, it was actually much stronger than the Lei family. Even if it faced the Holy Land, the Lufeng Chamber of Commerce was not afraid of anything. The impression given by Lufeng Chamber of Commerce is that they only do business to make money, but they don't develop power. Many people don't think that Lufeng Chamber of Commerce is that strong. Only people like Lei Zhengying know how strong Lufeng Chamber of Commerce is, and they are not afraid even if they face the Holy Land. Xiao Wu's breath continued to rise, and the avenue was like a dragon, roaring in the illusion. Gu Nianhai watched from a distance. His eyes were full of complexities. The power of the void makes the heavenly venerable. I don't know which great law it is, should such a person be kept. In a secret place deep in the Leishan Mountains, as waves of coolness flowed into his body like clear water, Lin Moyu finally regained control of his body. The terrifying thunder shattered the space of the origin continent and brought him here. The power of thunder that can shatter the space of the origin continent is beyond imagination. But Lin Moyu did not suffer any harm, but was temporarily paralyzed and lost control of his body. Until now, control has finally returned. Feeling the coolness coming from the inexplicable void, Lin Moyu knew that this was the power of luck, and Xiao Wu used the avenue of luck to enhance his luck. This little guy is worried that I will die. Lin Moyu chuckled. After waving his hands and feet, all the numbness had disappeared, and Lin Moyu officially fainted the situation in front of him. He was in a special space. Outside the space was a void, and there were countless thunders in the void. Lin Moyu could feel the power of thunder, and it was not difficult to kill him. In front of him, there was only one road, leading directly to the depths of the space, and this road was also composed of thunder. These thunders, even the Dao Zone, I am afraid it is difficult to bear. There is only one road in front of me. If you fall into the void, you will die. Lin Moyu had no choice but to step on this road composed of thunder and walk into the depths of the space. The thunder road was not long, and it soon reached the end. The end was a field of thunder. After Lin Moyu arrived, the thunder in front of him opened like a curtain. The thunder road extended to a deeper place. A dangerous breath came from behind the curtain. Lin Moyu's spiritual sense told him that it was very dangerous inside. But he had no choice. Behind him, the thunder road was disappearing, and he had only one way to go forward. After passing through the curtain, the thunder road in front of him suddenly became wide, from a small road to a big road, and the deeper he went, the wider the road became. Waves of numbness came from the soles of his feet, but fortunately the numbness was not strong and would not affect his movements. Lin Moyu took 2 steps forward, and the curtain behind him closed with a crackling sound. The way back was cut off, and Lin Moyu had no way to retreat. In the empty thunder around him, pairs of eyes suddenly lit up. There was a fierce light in the eyes, and then dozens of thunder beasts transformed by thunder rushed out of the thunder and rushed straight to Lin Moyu. The thunder beast was very fast, rushing over with lightning and thunder. Lin Moyu snapped his fingers, and countless skeleton gods flew out to meet the thunder beast. The thunder beast let out a sharp roar and spewed out countless thunders. The thunders intertwined into a net, covering the sky and the earth. The skeleton god waved his bone sword, and countless sword sheaths slashed out, tearing the thunder net apart. The thunder net was broken on the spot, but it gathered together again in the next moment. The sword sheath clearly tore the thunder net to pieces, but it could not stop it from recovering in the next moment. Lin Moyu's heart moved, "Dump the thunder beast." He gave the order, and the skeleton god immediately turned to attack the thunder beast. The majestic sword chi tore the thunder beast apart, and like the thunder net, the thunder beast was fully recovered in the next second. Thunder was originally invisible, and it was difficult to be destroyed by the three swords. The thunder net fell on the skeleton god, and in an instant, the skeleton god's body collapsed and became shattered on the spot. Like a chain, the thunder continued to spread among the skeleton god generals, and the skeleton god generals would die if they touched it. Fortunately, the skeleton god generals also had undead spirits, and they could be resurrected immediately after death. The skeleton god generals fought with the thunder beasts under the thunder net. The skeleton god generals would die if they touched it, and the sword energy could also tear the thunder beasts apart to buy a little time. Lin Moyu found that the thunder beasts would become slightly weaker after killing the skeleton god generals. The thunder net woven by the thunder beasts would also become slightly weaker. The power of the thunder beasts is not endless, and there is an upper limit. In this way, as long as there are enough skeleton god generals, they can also polish the defense zone of the thunder beasts in rotation. Lin Moyu's mind moved, and the first legion of the Dragon Riders Corps was dispatched. The number 1 Legion commander summoned a large number of dragon riders on the spot to replace the skeleton god generals and fight against the thunder beasts. The power of the dragon riders is much stronger than that of the skeleton god generals. Although they still cannot stop the attacks of the thunder beasts, they can consume more of the thunder beasts' power. Moreover, the commander of the corps was in command, so Lin Moyu didn't need to spend his mind to control it. The commander of the Corps number 1 quickly adapted to the rhythm and manipulated the dragon riders to fight against the thunder beasts. The situation quickly stabilized, and the thunder beasts' power was quickly consumed. Finally, in the dragon riders' repeated attacks, the thunder beasts were destroyed and no longer reborn. Lin Moyu took a deep breath and took a step forward. In an instant, thunder exploded in the void, and another group of love and hatred rushed out. This time, the number of thunder beasts was nearly doubled compared to before, and their power was slightly enhanced. The thunder beasts intertwined a thunder net, which was denser and more powerful than before. The commander of the Corps number 1 shouted in a low voice and quickly commanded the dragon riders to fight fiercely with the thunder beasts. One attack after another tore the thunder beasts apart, but the thunder beasts' attacks also killed the dragon riders continuously. The number 1 Legion commander controlled the rhythm, letting the dragon riders rotate and cooperate with the undead spirits. Lin Moyu frowned. Could it be that the number and strength of thunder beasts will increase with every step? He looked at the long thunder road. If he wanted to reach the end, it would take at least 1,000 steps. If it doubled every time, even if he had the undead legion, he would definitely not be able to hold on. If even I can't do it, then others who come here will surely die. But since there is such a layout, it must not be a dead end. If the Heavenly Venerable can't come, these thunder beasts shouldn't be so powerful. Only a few thunderbolts in the void can kill any Heavenly Venerable, including O. Lin Moyu never thought that he was unkillable, but that he was not easy to be killed. The spiritual sense told him that the thunderbolt in the void was enough to kill him. But if that was the case, why did he bother to evolve the thunder beast? Wouldn't it be better to just kill himself? This question is worth discussing. According to Lin Moyu's experience, there are only 2 ways to reach the end. One is to force his way through with extremely strong strength. But this requires at least the strength of the Daozun realm, and he may not be able to do it even if he uses all his strength. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The second is to solve the current situation, and the key to solving the situation is in the thunderbolt in the void. Lin Moyu began to observe carefully and stopped moving forward. At this time, he had a strong interest in his heart. He hadn't encountered the problem of solving the situation for a long time. Just like the previous copy and the later Secret Realm, Lin Moyu was very interested in this kind of thing and was very good at it. The number 1 Legion commander commanded the Dragon Riders to fight against the Thunder Beast. Moyu bought time. Until all the Thunder Beasts were killed, Lin Moyu still didn't see any clues. Am I wrong? Lin Moyu was thinking, and suddenly he found that the thunder road behind him suddenly rose with countless thunders, which merged with the thunder in the void and evolved into the October Lapis Lazuli Sea. The retreat was completely cut off, and he couldn't take a step back, so he could only move forward. 0. This is telling me that time is limited. Lin Moyu had no choice but to take another step forward. In an instant, thunder roared in the void, pairs of eyes appeared, and then countless thunder beasts rushed out. The number of thunder beasts this time doubled again, and they were stronger than ever. The first batch of thunder beasts was about 50. The second batch of thunder beasts increased to 100. Now the third batch of thunder beasts has reached 200. The number doubled, but fortunately the increase in strength was not much. This made Lin Moyu more sure that this game was not a sure-win game. When the third batch of thunder beasts appeared, Lin Moyu finally saw some clues. At the moment the thunder beasts appeared, Lin Moyu saw that there seemed to be something behind the thunder. When the thunder beasts rushed out of the thunder, they would tear a small hole in the thunder, and the thing was hidden behind the small hole. Lin Moyu's mind moved, and he took another step forward. Thunder roared, and in an instant, 400 pairs of eyes lit up at the same time. The fourth batch of thunder beasts, a full 400 thunder beasts, rushed out. Lin Moyu stared at the area where the thunder beasts appeared without blinking, and the thunder in the void was torn into countless small holes, and the things behind the small holes appeared in front of him in an instant. Unfortunately, the time was too short and it was not clear enough. 2 batches of thunder beasts, a full 600, the number 1 Legion commanders summoned more dragon riders to deal with them. There were enough dragon riders to deal with some thunder beasts. Lin Moyu's eyes flickered, and he quickly thought of a way. Try this big. The law of time rises, and a road emerges. Time goes back. The picture in Lin Moyu's eyes changes, and the picture that has appeared before appears again. Using time to go back, Lin Moyu looks at the gap torn when the thunder beast appears again and again, and looks at the things behind the gap. He looks at more than one, but many. It turns out to be like this. Lin Moyu finally saw clearly that behind these small gaps, there were actually origin crystals. These origin crystals are different from those he has seen before. The origin crystals he has seen before have no special properties and can be said to be universal. But the origin crystals he saw this time have properties. The origin crystals with properties have some special functions, and their value is a little higher than the origin crystals without properties. These origin crystals are not of high level, they are only of level 2, and they are just ordinary level. Thunder beasts are evolved from origin crystals. The most important thing is that these origin crystals are connected to each other, and they seem to form a certain formation. After watching it again and again, Lin Moyu finally determined that the reason why these origin crystals can evolve into thunder beasts is mainly because these origin crystals form a formation. The farther you go, the more formation nodes you activate, and the number of thunder beasts that appear will increase accordingly. Based on Lin Moyu's understanding of the formation, this formation is not a complicated formation, but its nodes can be countless. According to the current situation, it is normal for tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of thunder beasts to appear in the end. And the more nodes of the formation are activated, the greater the power will be, and the stronger the thunder beast will be. Now it is only a low-level Tianzuan realm thunder beast, and there is no guarantee that there will be a mid-level Tianzuan or even a high-level Tianzuan realm thunder beast in the future. It doesn't need to be too many, tens of thousands of high-level Tianzuan realm thunder beasts, plus their characteristics, will be a headache for me. Then the problem to be solved now is to crack the formation hidden behind the thunder. This is a weapon formation. With my understanding of the formation, I can't crack it for the time being. If it was a talisman formation, it would be fine, but it's a weapon formation. Lin Moyu frowned. His understanding of the weapon formation was too one-sided and his foundation was weak. If it was a talisman formation, he could crack it in minutes. Weapon formations and talisman formations have similarities and differences. Lin Moyu suddenly thought of Lu Fengqing and used the jade token given by Lu Fengqing. Since I don't understand weapon formations, I will learn it now. It's not impossible to learn and apply it now. I hope it's useful. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and he summoned the 2nd to 10th Legion commanders in succession. He gave orders to let the 1st to 10th Legion commanders, with their own dragon cavalry legions, cooperate with each other to resist the thunder beasts. The next second, he took 3 steps in a row. The 5th batch of thunder beasts, 800 heads. The 6th batch of thunder beasts, 1,600 heads. The 7th batch of thunder beasts, 3,200 heads. Almost at the same time, 5,600 thunder beasts rushed out. The 10 Legion leaders also summoned a large number of dragon cavalry corps to fight with the thunder beasts. The void was occupied by thunder beasts and dragon cavalry corps, and the battle was fierce. And Lin Moyu, his whole body was wrapped in the time law, he began to study the knowledge of the array in the jade card at the fastest speed. The time avenue roared, and the speed of time belonging to Lin Moyu began to accelerate. 1 second passed in the outside world, but 1 second passed for Lin Moyu. His time was accelerated 3 times, so he could get more time. The time in the origin continent is as stable as space, and it is very difficult to change time. With his current ability, he can accelerate the time in the world by 1 time. But on the origin continent, he can only accelerate it 3 times with all his strength. And under the threefold acceleration, the laws of the avenue have become chaotic. In this state, he can't comprehend and study the laws at all. Fortunately, the content in the jade card is just the basic knowledge of the array, which has nothing to do with the law and is not affected. Lin Moyu turned into a knowledge absorber, taking a lot of knowledge about the array into his mind and understanding it quickly. Lin Moyu found that his talent for the array was not inferior to his talent for runes. He also comprehended it very quickly, with almost no bottleneck. The principle of the array, the arrangement method of the array, the composition form of the array, and various information were all quickly understood and mastered. As time passed, the Thunder Avenue was gradually disappearing, and the place he had walked before slowly evolved into a sea of thunder. Even if a Taoist enters the sea of thunder, he will be skinned. If a heavenly lord enters, he will surely die. An hour later, the battle between the dragon riders and the thunder beasts came to an end, and the number of thunder beasts was decreasing. Nearly 6,000 thunder beasts were all killed. The thunder sea finally came behind Lin Moyu. Master! Master, wake up! The legion leaders shouted one after another. They knew that the thunder sea was very dangerous. Finally, when the thunder sea was about to arrive, Lin Moyu took another step forward. Boom! More than 6,000 pairs of eyes lit up at the same time, and this time there were 6,400 thunder beasts. Lin Moyu's eyes shot out a brilliant light, and his fingers flicked continuously. 10 origin crystals, almost in no particular order, shot into the gap torn by the thunder beast, and collided with the origin crystals behind the gap. The positions of the 10 origin crystals shot by Lin Moyu were all particular and different. They almost didn't distinguish between the first and the last order, and knocked down their targets at the same time. The origin crystal that was ejected knocked away the origin crystal behind the thunder, and the 10 nodes in the formation changed instantly. The thunder beast that was about to evolve also dissipated at this moment. The formation stopped running, and the evolution failed. Lin Moyu smiled lightly. It turned out to be so simple. Many things are difficult for those who don't know, but easy for those who know. Lin Moyu was helpless with the formation behind the thunder before. After mastering the basic knowledge of the weapon formation, he realized that this formation was so simple. The formation hidden behind the thunder is not an advanced formation, but just a second-level formation. This formation is called the stacking wave formation, and its only function is to continuously increase the nodes by 4.6 points, with almost no upper limit. This formation is used in many places, especially some sects, which can combine their own formations with the stacking wave formation to increase the formation nodes in large quantities to enhance the power of the main formation. Strictly speaking, the stacking wave formation is not the main formation, but exists as an auxiliary formation. The formation itself is not surprising. The real thing that can evolve the Thunder Beast is the thunder in the void. Without these thunders, the stacking wave array is rubbish. But similarly, without the stacking wave array, these thunders can't evolve so many Thunder Beasts. Lin Moyu felt satisfied after breaking through the situation, and the sense of achievement he hadn't seen for a long time made him feel excited. He walked step by step on the increasingly wide Thunder Road, and no more Thunder Beasts appeared, and he walked all the way to the end. Lin Moyu stood at the end of the Thunder Road. Sure enough, just as I guessed, we still have to fight in the end. At the end of the Thunder Avenue, a huge Thunder Beast was lying there. All the Thunder Beasts before were like children's play in front of it. This Thunder Beast was huge in size and could be called the King of Thunder Beasts. It exuded the aura of a high-level Tianzuan, and Lin Moyu felt that it would be more difficult to deal with than a high-level Tianzuan. In the void, the stacking wave array after the thunder could evolve Thunder Beasts. It was the initiator and the real source. When Lin Moyu cracked the stacking wave array before, he had already realized that there should be a big guy behind the array as the center of the entire array. The existence of the stacking wave array was just to borrow its power. As expected, he saw this big guy. Lin Moyu's arrival also woke the other party up. It opened its eyes and let out a low roar. In an instant, thunder filled the sky and swept the entire space. Countless thunders came from all directions and hit the Thunder Beast King, causing the Thunder Beast King's power to increase sharply. The mighty pressure rolled over and rushed to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's body shook, and the immortal golden body was activated, and the whole body was shining with golden light, blocking the pressure. He looked at the void on all sides. Fortunately, the thunder in the void did not merge with it, otherwise there would be no need to fight. According to the previous experience of dealing with Thunder Beasts, if the thunder in the void merged with it, then its power would be almost endless. Then there would be no need to fight. Facing a guy with a higher realm than himself, with endless power, and who could not be beaten or torn apart, unless the Taoist master took action, he would not be able to deal with it at all. But fortunately, the thunder in the void, except for the first wave that gave it a force, did not merge with it. Then it can still be dealt with, and the method can be copied from the previous method of dealing with Thunder Beasts. Kill him. Lin Moyu moved his mind and gave a general order to the Legion commander. The 10 Legion commanders waved their swords at the same time. Kill. In an instant, countless dragon riders rushed out. They also knew that the opponent was powerful, so they would not hold back. Countless dragon riders occupied a large area of the void and rushed towards the Thunder Beast King from all directions. The Thunder Beast King finally woke up completely, roared, and the lightning on his body exploded, turning into an endless sea of thunder. In an instant, the Dragon Rider Corps collapsed collectively. The power of the Sea of Thunder was too strong, and it was dead at the first touch. Lin Moyu and the Legion leaders were very clear about this result and were not surprised. The first batch of Dragon Riders died, and the second batch of Dragon Riders rushed out immediately. Bone Slash. With an order, the Bone Law rose up, and a world of bones appeared in the void. Countless bones shook and danced in front of their eyes, evolving into a powerful attack, bombarding the Thunder Beast. The Thunder King roared, lowered his head slightly, and shot out from the lightning. The radio exploded, blasting the bones into pieces. The crushing power, the power of the high-level Tianzuan, was too strong, very scary. Lin Moyu whispered, "Sure enough, there are many good people." Lin Moyu was not worried at all. This battle has just begun. The 10 Legion commanders all have their own wisdom, and the first 2 waves of attacks are just tests. The dragon riders who died before suddenly resurrected collectively. This change made the Thunder Beast King a little stunned. Bone Battle Formation. Death Charge. Death Breath. The 10 Legion commanders commanded the Dragon Rider Corps and launched a crazy attack. The Dragon Riders formed a battle formation, launched a death charge, and crashed into the Thunder Beast King at an astonishing speed. Thunder permeated the Thunder Beast King's body, turning into a thunder armor. The battle formation collided with the thunder armor and collapsed on the spot, unable to break in. The Death Breath ignited flames, surrounding the Thunder Beast King, but still could not hurt it. The gap in rank brought about a complete suppression of power. It could not be beaten, nor could it be stopped, and there seemed to be no way. However, as the commander of the Dragon Rider Corps, they did not know what giving up meant. As long as Lin Moyu asked them to fight, they would fight to the last man and retreat. More Dragon Riders rushed out of the Rule World and killed the Thunder Beast King. 10 commanders had a total of 100 million Dragon Riders, plus the resurrection of the undead spirits. If they wanted to kill all 100 million Dragon Riders, they would tire the Thunder Beast King to death. Batches of Dragon Riders were killed by the Thunder Beast King, resurrected again, and killed again. The 10 commanders let the Dragon Riders attack in batches, not just a mindless charge. Lin Moyu saw it and smiled. Although this guy is strong enough, he is too stupid. He doesn't know the principle of capturing the king first, and he doesn't understand the decapitation tactic. If this goes on, it will be exhausted in a little time. Lin Moyu has seen the outcome. As the battle continues, the Thunder Beast King, like those small thunder beasts, is also gradually weakening. This also means that he can be worn out to death. When the power is exhausted, it will be its death. Lin Moyu doesn't know what form the Thunder Beast King exists in, but he can see that the Thunder Beast King has no wisdom. Since this is the case, he is too lazy to think of other ways and leaves it to the 10 Legion commanders to deal with. Although the Thunder Beast King is strong, he doesn't realize that he is being rapidly weakened. It only knows to keep killing these damn Dragon Riders. But no matter how it kills, it can't kill them all. It doesn't know that the 10 Legion commanders let the Dragon Riders go up to fight with it in batches, and the Dragon Riders it kills are not the same batch at all. The cooldown time of the undead spirits was reasonably allocated by the Legion leaders, forming a cycle. Even if it kills to exhaustion, it can't really kill even one Dragon Rider. Lin Moyu used this almost cheating and shameless tactic to drag it into the abyss of death. The power of the Thunder Beast King gradually weakened, and its breath decreased accordingly. After being worn out for half an hour, the Thunder Beast King fell from the high-level Tianzuan to the hand-level Tianzuan. At this time, the 753 captains in the Dragon Rider Corps can finally play a role. 10 Dragon Rider Corps, hundreds of captains, all have the combat power of the middle-level Tianzuan. They led the Dragon Riders to attack, and in their repeated attacks at the cost of their own lives, the power of the Thunder Beast King decreased more rapidly. In the 50th minute of the battle, the power of the Thunder Beast King had dropped to the low-level Tianzuan. In a few minutes, it can't even keep the Tianzuan realm. At that time, its fate will be the same as that of the little Thunder Beast, and it will be completely worn out. A few minutes later, when the Thunder Beast King finally reached its limit, suddenly the sound of thunder sounded in the void. Countless thunderbolts flashed and fell on the Thunder Beast King. The Thunder Beast King's already fallen breath quickly recovered, and in a blink of an eye it returned to the middle-level Heavenly Venerable, and was still recovering. The Legion leaders immediately ordered the Dragon Riders to interfere, but at this moment the Thunder Beast King was surrounded by thunder and could not get close at all. Lin Moyu was not in a hurry, showing a hint of smile. "I've been waiting for it." He took out a fine-grade third-level origin crystal, waved it fiercely, and the origin crystal turned into a stream of light and flew to somewhere in the sky. With a light bang, the origin crystal exploded, and the sun method was revealed. This formation connects to thunder in a special way to provide power for the Thunder Beast King. Lin Moyu threw out another fine-grade third-level origin crystal and smashed it hard on one of the nodes of the formation. The formation stopped working with a bang, and a large number of cracks appeared, breaking like glass. As the formation was broken, the thunder stopped falling and no longer provided power to the Thunder Beast King. At this time, the power of the Thunder Beast King had just recovered to the middle-level Tianzuan, and only recovered less than half, and could not last long. The formation that Lin Moyu destroyed was also only a third-level formation. Its function was to provide a square area for the Thunder Beast King. The Thunder Beast King had the ability to absorb lightning, and this formation only needed a little guidance to provide thunder for the Thunder Beast King. Similarly, it was quite easy for Lin Moyu to crack it. The formation itself had no defense power, and it was broken by Lin Moyu in 2 or 3 times. At this time, Lin Moyu did not fully master the formation below the 3rd level. But the principle is already understood. Although the formation cannot be set up, it can be cracked. Fortunately, the Jade card given by Senior Lu contains most of the basic knowledge of the car. Through this basic knowledge, the fundamentals of the formation can be deduced. As long as the formation is not too complicated, it can be deduced. Lin Moyu found that the talisman formation and the weapon formation have many similarities. His knowledge of the talisman formation also played a huge role at this moment, allowing him to understand it better. It's a pity that there is not enough time, and there is no time to learn and master the hundreds of formations recorded in the Jade card. After the formation behind the thunder was cracked, the Thunder Beast King completely lost the source of power and could no longer be replenished. Under the siege of the Dragon Riders, all his strength was slowly consumed and completely collapsed. The Thunder Beast King shattered like fireworks, and a portal composed of thunder appeared where he died. "You passed the test, come in." A voice suddenly sounded, and the portal opened. Lin Moyu was shocked. "There is someone here. I should be in the Leishan Mountains. Could it be the senior of the Lei family?" Although the other party was just a voice, it was filled with unimaginable majesty, and a trace of rope-like aura came out from behind the portal. Lin Moyu couldn't tell the other party's realm, but it was definitely a Daozun. It's just that compared to the Daozun he had seen before, it seemed a little different. Lin Moyu didn't know much about Daozun, he only knew that there was a huge difference in experience in the Daozun realm. They were both Daozun, but there was a world of difference. A powerful Daozun could easily slaughter a weak Daozun. This gap seemed to be more terrifying than any previous gap between the same realms. Lin Moyu instinctively felt that the senior behind the Thunder Gate was an extremely powerful Daozun. Lin Moyu walked into the portal calmly. He couldn't be careless. Since he was here, he would make the best of it. Entering the portal, Lin Moyu felt like he had experienced a short teleportation. There was a constant roar in his ears, and countless thunders exploded in front of his eyes. Each thunder could easily kill him. An invisible force took him through the thunder and came to another space. This space was a world of thunder, and there was nothing but thunder. Even the avenue became weak in this space, and Lin Moyu could hardly sense his own avenue. The operation of the law also became obscure. Lin Moyu was shocked, and the avenue was actually isolated! He realized that he might have really come into contact with some big secrets. Even the avenue could be isolated, which was unimaginable. Daozun is the master of the avenue, but he also relies on the power of the avenue. What kind of existence can be so high and profound? Lin Moyu felt that among the people he had met, perhaps only 3 people could have this ability. There were the old man in green robes and his wife, and the old man who gave him the essence of ancestral water. Lin Moyu looked at this independent space. This independent space was like a cave surrounded by countless thunders, leading to an unknown place. Lin Moyu did not move forward rashly, but stood there and said, "Senior, are you there?" His voice was immediately covered by the thunder as soon as it came out, and it could not be heard far at all. This is a sea of thunder, with endless roars. Lin Moyu felt his mind was shaken when he stood here. It was difficult to calm down. The thunder affected his soul and even his heart of Tao. Suddenly the thunder stopped, and the surroundings became silent, and you could hear a pin drop. Lin Moyu heard his heartbeat, the sound of blood flowing, and even the faint sound of skin stretching and accommodating. The sudden change made Lin Moyu feel a little uncomfortable and difficult to adapt for a while. Thunders intertwined silently in front of him, and a figure appeared in the lightning. Remnant soul. Lin Moyu was shocked. What was here was actually a remnant soul. If the remnant soul had the power to isolate the avenue, how strong would the complete body be? Lin Moyu couldn't imagine it. It was completely beyond his understanding. Lin Moyu saluted the figure. Lin Moyu greets the senior. Taking the initiative to introduce oneself is the greatest respect. The figure was illusory and hazy at first. As the thunders fell on him, the figure quickly solidified and finally turned into an old man with a fairy-like appearance. He was wearing a thunder robe, like a banished immortal in thunder. Just a wisp of soul exuded an aura stronger than Lei Zhengying, not to mention the strength of his body. Lin Moyu knew that this was the strongest person he had ever seen besides the three people. A heavy voice sounded, "Your name is Lin Moyu, Zuanjing." Lin Moyu nodded. "Senior is right." The remnant soul looked at Lin Moyu. "You have good talent, and your soul is very pure, and your future is very bright." Lin Moyu immediately looked flattered. "Senior, you are too kind." The remnant soul shook his head slightly. "You don't have to be so exaggerated. This is not your true heart, and you don't have to deliberately please a dead man like me." Lin Moyu was stunned for a moment, and put away his slightly exaggerated expression before. "Senior is so powerful, how could you?" The remnant soul sighed. "Everyone will die one day, and if you can't get the Tao, what can you do if you don't die? You have passed the previous test and are qualified to inherit my mantle, but whether you can succeed or not depends on your own luck in the end." As he said, "Lima," he turned and walked towards the depths of the space, leaving footprints wherever he passed. Lin Moyu immediately followed. He did not walk around, and every step was on the right platform of the footprints. Who knows what is in this passage? It will be relatively safer to take the road that others have walked. A heavy voice came from the front. "You are very cautious." Caution is a good thing and can help you go further. But being too cautious is also a bad thing and will make you lose many opportunities. Lin Moyu was a little strange. Why did this sound familiar? It seemed that he had said something similar before. At that time, he taught others, and now it was someone else's turn to teach him. This feeling was very strange. However, Lin Moyu still tried to reply sincerely, "Thank you for your guidance, senior. I will pay attention to it." The remnant soul turned around and looked at Lin Moyu, as if he had seen through Lin Moyu's mind long ago. Lin Moyu smiled shamelessly. "What is the senior's legacy?" "Thunder." The remnant soul uttered the word thunder, indicating that his avenue was thunder. Lin Moyu couldn't help but speculate about his identity. Could he really be a member of the Lei family? The Lei family also inherited thunder, and the two were very similar. The remnant soul walked and said, "There are thousands of avenues, and any one of them, as long as you reach the end, can prove the way. You have many avenues, which are really complicated. In fact, you are not suitable to be my successor." He could see that Lin Moyu had many avenues, which seemed to conflict with his philosophy. Lin Moyu said in his heart, "Going to the end of one avenue is not my way. What's more, I have never thought of becoming your successor." Lin Moyu's heart of Taoism is firm. He set his own way early and has been carrying it out. No matter who it is, it can't change it. This is Lin Moyu's heart of Taoism, firm and powerful. The remnant soul said, "Although I know that you probably can't become my successor, as the first Tianzuan to come here and pass the assessment in 10,000 years, there are still some things you should do." Lin Moyu has dealt with remnant souls many times and knows that these remnant souls will obey the orders left by their original bodies in most cases. This remnant soul in front of him is like this, doing things according to the rules set by the original body before his death. However, there are exceptions. If it has its own spiritual wisdom, things will develop in another 157 direction. The rules of the original body before his death are still useful, but the remnant soul will also have its own ideas. The most basic idea is to get rid of fate and make oneself a real living being. A remnant soul of Shingfu Tianzuan once had a similar change. Lin Moyu is not sure whether the one in front of him will be the same, so he can only remain cautious. The other party obviously discovered Lin Moyu's situation, but he didn't care and just kept moving forward. Stepping on the thunder, step by step, he finally came to the deepest part of the space. The deepest part is a space similar to a cave. In front of the cave, there is a large monument as tall as 2 people. Lin Moyu was surprised when he saw the big stele. It's actually an origin crystal. The whole big stele is an origin crystal, an extremely huge origin crystal. This origin crystal has reached at least the 7th level, and it is a fine 7th level. Such a large piece is composed of at least thousands of fine 7th level origin crystals, and its value is inestimable. It's really a big deal to refine so many origin crystals into a big stele. Fine 7th level origin crystals, others can't even get one, but there is such a big piece here. If people know about it, I'm afraid that the Taoist masters in the Holy Land will come to snatch it. The remnant soul came to the big stele and said loudly, "Look at the inscription." Inscription? Lin Moyu didn't see any words on the big stele, but since the remnant soul asked him to see it, there must be. Perhaps this is another test. Lin Moyu used his soul power to communicate with the big stele, trying to use this method to check the inscription. When his soul was about to touch the monument suddenly emerged with a powerful force, which bounced his soul away. Lin Moyu knew that the method of communicating with soul power was not feasible, so he immediately tried other methods. He put his hand on the monument, and he was very careful, so as not to cause the inscription to counterattack. The surface of the monument was extremely smooth, and there was no text at all. Lin Moyu tried to inject his power into the monument, which again caused the monument to counterattack, and the great force shook Lin Moyu several steps away. The residual soul stood aside without saying a word, just watching quietly. Lin Moyu knew that this was a test. If he couldn't even see the inscription on the monument, he would not be qualified to get the other party's mantle. Lin Moyu was not interested in the mantle and the like. Lin Moyu just wanted to leave here. Obviously, if he can't pass the test, he can't leave here. Soul power is not enough, law power is not enough, and pure physical strength is probably not enough. Lin Moyu's mind turned quickly. After coming here, there are only 2 kinds of encounters. One is the formation, and the other is the 5th thunder. Then the secret to unlocking the inscription should be between these 2. This question is not that simple. If it can be unlocked only by the power of thunder, then the people who come in can unlock the inscription as long as they master thunder. The people of the Lei family can do it easily. Obviously, it is not entirely dependent on ordinary thunder power. Lin Moyu looked at the lightning that was constantly jumping and flashing around the space, and thought about why he came here. He was sure that if he wanted to see the inscription, it must be related to the power of thunder. Although he could not control thunder, drawing runes was Lin Moyu's forte. Drawing a few runes related to thunder was a matter of thought. Lin Moyu quickly drew a lightning rune, which was just a low-level rune, and it was done in a thought. The lightning rune flew out, exploded in front of the monument, and fell on the monument in a flash. The monument suddenly lit up, and Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes. At the moment the monument lit up, he saw some words. However, the monument only lit up for a moment, not even 0.01 seconds, and it was not clear at all. If it was in the outside world, Lin Moyu could also use the law of time to go back in time and watch repeatedly until he could see it clearly. But now, the avenue has been isolated, and the law of time has become extremely obscure, and it is impossible to go back in time. Lin Moyu tried to draw lightning runes again, from low-level runes to lightning ancient runes, and drew them all. Even his strongest lightning ancient rune could only make the monument light up for about 0.1 seconds, and it was not fully lit yet, and some of the words were still unclear. Even if he could draw ancient runes continuously, he still couldn't see the inscriptions clearly. It seems that using ancient runes is not the right way. After a little thought, Lin Moyu suddenly looked around, his eyes suddenly lit up, and he thought of the right way. The right way should be to use the thunder in the space. There are countless thunders in the space, and each one is enough to kill him in seconds, and the power is unimaginable. Then the key to the problem is how to trigger these thunders. Lin Moyu immediately thought of what happened when he came here. Yin and Yang complement each other. Using Yin thunder can trigger Yang thunder. In this case, then set up a Yin thunder formation. Lin Moyu immediately took out a few first-level origin crystals and quickly set up a mine formation in front of the stone tablet. The mine array is a first-level array, and its layout is extremely simple. It belongs to the Yin lay system like the Kuei-Shui Yin lay array. After arranging the array, Lin Moyu quickly retreated and activated the array at the same time. Boom! The mine array was running, making a roaring sound. In an instant, the thunder in the space was activated and fell from all directions on the mine array. The mine array collapsed on the spot without a trace of hesitation. Lin Moyu looked at this scene. It can indeed trigger thunder, but the mine array is not strong enough. If the mine array is not good, the water Yin lay array may not be enough. 11. Lin Moyu looked at the remnant soul. Senior, is there a time limit? The remnant soul shook his head. 1 month. Lin Moyu was delighted. 1 month, enough. He immediately took out the jade card and checked the array. 1 month is the time for 30 rounds of alternation of the origin of the moon and the sun. The opening of Thunder Mountain this time will last for 1 month. Lin Moyu knew in his heart that if he could not solve the mystery in 1 month, he might be trapped here forever. There were many more puzzles in the future, and the one in front of him was just one of them, so he had to hurry up. There were hundreds of formations in the Jade card, but fortunately there were only more than 23rd level formations. There were more than 23rd level formations, each of which was different, and only 2 of them were related to thunder. One was the Thunder and Fire formation, and the Sun was the Wood Thunder formation. Thunder and Fire belonged to Yang, and Wood Thunder belonged to Yin. Lin Moyu started to learn the Wood Thunder formation directly. The remnant soul looked at Lin Moyu quietly without saying a word. He did not disturb Lin Moyu, but just waited quietly. He had waited for 10,000 years, and his patience was unimaginable. Such a short time was nothing to him. 5 hours later, Lin Moyu put away the Jade card. One by one, the origin crystals popped out, and more than 300 first-order origin crystals formed a Wooden Thunder array around the big monument. The Wooden Thunder array was activated, and bursts of thunder were heard. The thunder was low, in sharp contrast to the thunder in the Leishan Mountains. When the Wooden Thunder array was activated, the thunders around were immediately attracted and hit the Wooden Thunder array. The Wooden Thunder array could not resist the powerful thunder at all, and it was broken in a breath. As a third-order array, the thunder attracted by the Wooden Thunder array was several times more than the previous water mine array. Moreover, Lin Moyu deliberately arranged the Wooden Thunder array around the big monument. When the Wooden Thunder array was broken, it also drilled into the big monument because of the thunder. The big monument was activated, shining, and countless words were revealed. Lin Moyu seized the time and checked it immediately. This time, because the thunder power was strong enough, the duration of the big monument was much longer, and the inscriptions on the monument were all revealed. After shining for more than 20 seconds, the inscriptions became dim again. At this moment, Lin Moyu looked strange. It turned out to be like this. 20 seconds, for Lin Moyu, was enough to remember the entire inscription. He did it, and wrote down the contents of the inscription word for word. What made him feel strange was the contents recorded in the inscription. The inscription recorded 2 parts in total. One was a formation, and the other was a secret technique. The formation was called the Thunder Induction Formation, which was a 4th-level formation, and its function was to attract thunder. It needs to be placed in a place full of thunder to work. It can attract a lot of thunder. Whether it is used to fight the enemy or to practice, it is very useful. And most importantly, the thunder it attracts will not cause harm to itself. Lin Moyu realized that this was the correct way to open the inscription. The method of using Yin thunder to attract Yang thunder was actually not correct. The other secret technique was the thunder secret method, which required the corresponding laws to cooperate. Lin Moyu had not learned the laws of thunder, so he could not master it in a short time. What he could master was the lightning array, and the national array was also the key to solving this problem. It seems that this senior's legacy should be the array and the art of thunder. To solve this problem, you must master one of the two. Lin Moyu understood and immediately began to study the lightning array. The fourth level array is much more difficult than the third level array, and even for him, it takes some time. A stream of clear air fell from the void and penetrated into the body. Lin Moyu knew that Xiao Wu was still using the Great Way of Luck to improve his luck. Lin Moyu also used the explosive luck technique to improve his luck to the limit. Luck turned into a dragon, ringing in his ears. Lin Moyu's mind was completely immersed in the comprehension of the formation. With the dual blessing of luck and luck, his comprehension speed accelerated again. All kinds of difficulties were broken and did not constitute any obstacles. The remnant soul, who had been motionless all the time, suddenly opened his eyes and looked at the top of Lin Moyu's head, muttering to himself, "The Great Way of Luck. After many years, someone else has comprehended the Great Way of Luck. This boy's luck is also amazing. If he doesn't die, his future is limitless. Perhaps he has a chance to touch that realm." These words can only be heard by the remnant soul himself, and Lin Moyu does not know. If he knew, Lin Moyu would probably be shocked and his view of the remnant soul would completely change. The residual soul can only have a part of the body's memory, and which part of the memory it can have is determined by the body. And the residual soul in front of him, his memory is obviously very complete. Such a residual soul is extremely abnormal. After the residual soul finished speaking, he closed his eyes again and continued to remain silent. Ask for flowers. Lin Moyu spent 5 hours to completely master the formation. Then he spent another hour to verify it in his own rule world. After confirming that it was correct, he took out a large number of origin crystals and began to arrange the formation. Still arranging the formation around the big monument, this time Lin Moyu was very careful to ensure that the formation was square. The fourth level instrument formation exists in more than 600 formation nodes, and each formation node requires an array device as the formation eye. The formation device can be a magic weapon, various materials, or origin crystals, or even directly using stones as the formation eye. The difference is that the different levels, qualities, and properties of the formation devices will directly affect the power of the formation. When the formation is running, the formation device also needs to withstand the pressure brought by the formation. The higher the level of the formation, the higher the requirements for the formation tools. Lin Moyu still uses the first order origin crystal, which is the best material he has on hand for the formation. The entire formation uses the same first order origin crystal as the formation tool, which can make the formation more harmonious. Although it cannot further enhance the power of the formation, it is neither good nor bad. After the previous consumption, he still has 2,000 first order origin crystals on hand, so he has to use them sparingly to know how many he will need in the future. After half an hour of busy work, the formation was finally arranged. Lin Moyu activated the formation, and the lightning formation was running, releasing a strange breath. In the surrounding space, countless thunders were attracted and fell towards the thunder formation. Lin Moyu felt the difference. The previous thunders struck the wood thunder formation like a sharp weapon. They regarded the Yin thunder as an enemy and wanted to split the Yin thunder into pieces. But now, the thunder fell on the thunder formation, but with a hint of gentleness, and did not seem to want to smash the thunder formation. A large number of thunders fell into the thunder formation and gathered together. The number is increasing. The lightning array gradually evolved into a sea of thunder. The lightning array was built around the monument, and the monument was also surrounded by thunder. Finally, the monument was completely swallowed by the sea of thunder. Until this moment, the monument was completely activated. A beam of light shot out from the monument, and the thunder in the distance split like a curtain, revealing a passage. The remnant soul slowly opened his eyes. "Let's go." As he said, he walked towards the passage, and Lin Moyu hurriedly followed Qian. The passage was extremely silent, and there was thunder all around, but there was no thunder, which was very strange. The remnant soul walked in front in silence, and Lin Moyu followed behind him, and couldn't help asking, "Senior, how many more tests are there?" The remnant soul said slowly, "It's almost time. You are the heavenly venerable, and the test for you won't be too difficult." Lin Moyu suddenly realized some problems. The remnant soul of the senior in front of him had great authority here, and he was not carrying out a certain task step by step. He could control the difficulty of the test. The lower the realm of the person who came in, the lower the difficulty of the test, and vice versa. In order to verify his guess, Lin Moyu asked again, "Senior, what if the Supreme comes in?" The remnant soul said, "The nephew is not qualified to come." The remnant soul didn't say much, but each sentence could reveal some deep meaning. These two short sentences have already explained that only the heavenly venerable and the Taoist venerable can come here and be qualified to accept the test. 790. People below the heavenly venerable are not qualified to come here at all. And the higher the realm, the more difficult it will be to accept the test. This is just one of the meanings. The other meaning is that the body of this senior is far superior to the Taoist venerable. If it is not far superior to the Taoist venerable, how can he test the Taoist venerable? In a few words, the remnant soul has revealed enough information. Lin Moyu suppressed his inner shock and did not ask more questions. If he continued to ask some things, it would be counterproductive. He knew very well that curiosity could be there, but it should be divided into occasions. The remnant soul walking in front unconsciously showed a smile at the corner of his mouth. He seemed to be very satisfied with Lin Moyu's alertness. Walking along the passage for a while, he came to the new destination again. At the end of the passage, there is a platform of no more than meters in radius. Beyond the platform is an endless sea of thunder, which is very terrifying. Lin Moyu knew that if he fell into it, he would surely die. About 100 meters away from the platform, in the sea of thunder, there were nearly 1,000 crystals floating in the void. These crystals looked exactly the same, with a diameter of about half a meter, and exuded a strong breath of origin. Lin Moyu recognized at a glance that these crystals were all made from origin crystals. They were not ordinary origin crystals, but fine-grade origin crystals, and their rank was at least level 7. It was already surprising enough to use fine-grade level 7 origin crystals to refine the big monument. Now these nearly 1,000 origin crystals with a diameter of up to half a meter, added together, are more than 10 times more than the big monument. Lin Moyu realized that he still underestimated the strength of this senior. The crystal floated in the air, and above the crystal, there was a sword. Lin Moyu could not see the rank of this sword, but he was sure that the rank of this sword was very high. The remnant soul said, "Stand on the platform and become the center of the formation." Following the direction pointed by the remnant soul, Lin Moyu saw that there was also a formation on the platform. He stood on the platform as the remnant soul said and became the center of the formation. At this moment, he felt that he had established a connection with the crystals floating 100 meters away, and he could control them. Although the control was not very precise, it could indeed make them change their positions according to their will. It's just that this kind of control would consume a lot of soul power, and it was a bit difficult to control. The remnant soul continued, "Control these formation tools and complete the 5-star Sky Thunder formation, because Xiao Zhang has this sword." Lin Moyu finally knew what this test was. He had to use himself as the center of the formation to control the crystals floating in the void and arrange them into a 5-star Sky Thunder formation. However, he didn't understand the 5-star Sky Thunder formation and had never even heard of it. Lin Moyu looked embarrassed. "Senior, I don't hesitate to form a 5-star Sky Thunder formation." The remnant soul said, "The 5-star sky thunder formation is under your feet. Understand it yourself." Lin Moyu looked down and saw that there was indeed an extremely complex formation carved around him. There was no written description, but it was engraved on the platform RE in the most primitive and simple way. Everything needs to be understood by yourself. Compared with jade tablets and stone tablets, the difficulty of learning formations in this way is unknown. Test your understanding, soul power, and control. The time limit is only 1 month, and there should be 29 days left now. This kind of test is simply impossible for ordinary people to complete. Lin Moyu has realized that in order to pass this test, you need to have a strong talent for formations. If an ordinary formation master comes, unless he has come into contact with this formation, he will definitely be in the dark. According to Lu Fengqing, even if you are a formation genius, it will take 1 month to learn and master a 3rd-level formation. What's more, the difficulty of this 5-star sky thunder formation is obviously beyond the 3rd-level formation. Lin Moyu felt that it was more difficult than the 4th-level lightning array, and couldn't help asking, "Senior, it's the 5th-level transformation method, right?" The remnant soul said, "Almost." "What a good almost, is it not? Then it's not. How can it be almost?" Lin Moyu didn't delve into this issue, because it was meaningless. What he had to do now was to learn and comprehend the 5-star sky thunder array, and then manipulate these source crystals that had become array tools to arrange the 5-star sky thunder array. Then use the 5-star sky thunder array to attack the sharp sword hanging in the air. Just treat it as learning a new array. Lin Moyu looked down at the 5-star sky thunder array carved on the platform and began to learn the array. This primitive learning method was the first time for Lin Moyu. The overall shape of the array began to emerge in his sight. The array nodes began to take shape in his mind, and the outline of the array began to become clear quickly. The soul power began to be consumed rapidly, and the world tree swayed wildly, replenishing Lin Moyu's soul power continuously. After swallowing the remains of a 2nd-level origin spirit vein, the world tree not only produced a large number of spirit flowers and fruits, but also strengthened its own power. The speed of replenishing soul power is faster than before. Lin Moyu consumed it quickly, and the world tree could replenish it in time. In this way, Lin Yu saved the time to restore his soul calendar. Time is very precious now, and every bit of time saved is a bit. Gradually, a formation with nearly 1,000 nodes took shape in the soul world. This is just a simulation, not the final state of the formation, and there are still many imperfections. Lin Moyu kept adjusting the formation to make it perfect. This test was not just about setting up the formation, but also about using the 5-star thunder formation to attack the sword above. The sword was not big, and if you wanted to hit it accurately, you needed to have precise control over the formation. To accurately control the formation, the prerequisite was that the formation had to be perfect enough. In the process of adjusting the formation, the basic knowledge of the array given by Lu Fengqing played a big role. Solid basic knowledge and the principles of the formation allowed Lin Moyu to make judgments and constantly correct any omissions. Finally, a nearly perfect formation took shape in the soul world. After confirming that there were no problems, Lin Moyu began to manipulate the crystals in the void and formally set up the 5-star thunder formation. The residual soul looked at Lin Moyu and said in a voice that only he could hear, "The speed is very fast, the comprehension is excellent, the soul power is sufficient, and the recovery speed is better than that of ordinary people. It is indeed a good seedling, but it's a pity." Lin Moyu devoted himself to the formation, constantly adjusting the position of the crystals. The whole process was not as simple as he had thought in advance. The crystals in the void would be affected by external forces. The dense thunder around formed a special force field that constantly affected the position of the crystals. Not only the force field generated by thunder, but also a special force field formed between the crystals, and the other side was affected. Lin Moyu had just put a crystal in place, and if he was careless, the crystal would shift. The displacement distance was very short, often only the distance of a finger. But if each crystal was a little different, the final method would be different. The fact that a slight difference can lead to 1,000 miles of error is extremely obvious when setting up the formation. More than 1,000 crystals, each one must be placed accurately and fixed to prevent them from moving at all. Lin Moyu can only consume a lot of soul power to control it. As Lin Moyu thought before, this test not only tests the comprehension, but also the power of the soul and the control ability. If it weren't for the support of the World Tree, Lin Moyu estimated that he would not be able to complete it. Gradually, Lin Moyu entered a state of ecstasy, no longer caring about other things, just adjusting the formation to perfection. The process of adjusting the formation is also a process of learning. 11 Lin Moyu learned a lot of knowledge about the instrument array. The instrument array is different from the rune array. The rune array is basically affected by the environment. In most cases, it can be easily arranged. Runes are originally something between the virtual and the real. They can have entities or not. The instrument array is different. The instrument array is real. Each node array needs to be filled with corresponding array instruments. The higher the level of the instrument array, the more complex it is, the more array eyes there are, and there will inevitably be an impact on each other. The higher the level of the formation, the greater the internal impact. And the external environment will also affect the instrument array. So if you want to arrange a perfect instrument array, you need to find a way to offset the two effects. Lin Moyu is now learning on the spot how to offset the two effects of the internal and external formation. No one taught, Lin Moyu completely self-taught. With his extremely sharp spiritual sense, he adjusted little by little. He has been completely immersed in it and cannot extricate himself. He even forgot about the test. He now has only one thought, which is to perfectly arrange the 5-star Sky Thunder array. The remnant soul's eyes light up slightly. This talent is really strong. It's a pity that he has many avenues and the road ahead is difficult. It's a pity. While praising Lin Moyu's talent, the remnant soul felt sorry for Lin Moyu. In his opinion, going all the way is the correct route for cultivation. When human power is exhausted, Lin Moyu has gone astray. No matter how high his achievements are in the future, there will be limits. In the inexplicable void, clear air continues to fall, and Lin Moyu's explosive luck technique has not stopped. With two-pronged approach, Lin Moyu is always in a state of great luck. It will soon. After repeated efforts and continuous adjustments, the formation gradually tends to be perfect. Lin Moyu didn't know how long it had been, and time seemed to have lost its meaning. Finally, he arranged the formation perfectly. Activate. Lin Moyu whispered in his heart, and for a moment he was actually a little excited. Soul power was like a key, opening the formation. The 5-star Sky Thunder formation started to work with a roar. The space that had been quiet for a long time suddenly rang with thunder, which shocked Lin Moyu's whole body. 5 points of starlight suddenly appeared in the formation, and then 5 stars rose and danced around the formation. Lin Moyu became the master of the formation at this moment. He manipulated the formation and locked onto the sword farther away. Boom! Lightning and thunder flashed in the formation, and countless thunders poured into one of the stars, and then turned into sharp arrows and hit the sword. The sword, which had been motionless all the time, suddenly moved and avoided the attack. You can dodge. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and the formation continued to operate. More power surged out, and the other 4 stars also lit up at the same time. In an instant, the 5 stars moved together, shooting out thunders. The sword danced in the air, dodging the thunder. No matter how dense the lightning was, it was helpless. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and he shouted, 5 stars merge into one, heavenly thunder. The 5 stars burst into dazzling light, and countless thunders poured into the 5 stars in the formation at the same time. Then, the 5 stars flew towards each other at the same time and merged with each other. A thunder sank into the void and disappeared, and then another sword appeared above the head, like a heavenly thunder. Without giving the sword any chance to dodge, the heavenly thunder hit directly. In the thunder light, the sword fell into the sea of thunder around the space. The sea of thunder boiled at this moment, and countless thunders flew out like snakes, raging in the air. In the thunder, Lin Moyu suddenly felt that he had lost contact with the 5-star Sky Thunder Formation. The 5-star Sky Thunder Formation collapsed automatically, turned into crystals again, and floated in the void. The platform, which was originally at the end, extended into the depths of space again. It was like a bridge, passing through the sea of thunder and reaching the other side. The remnant soul walked forward and whispered, "Follow." Lin Moyu immediately followed and asked, "Senior, how long has it been?" Just now, he was immersed in the state of comprehension, and Lin Moyu didn't know how much time had passed in the outside world. But he knew that he should not have been more than a month, otherwise the test would have ended long ago. The remnant soul said, 10 days. It's only been 10 days, Lin Moyu breathed a sigh of relief. Not bad. Senior, what is the next test? The remnant soul said, no more. Ah? It's over? Lin Moyu was stunned for a moment. He thought there would be at least 1 or 2 more tests. It seemed a bit hasty to end it like this. The remnant soul explained 723, nothing happens more than 3 times, 3 tests are enough. The Thunder Beast test that Lin Moyu just entered was the first one. The second test was the test of the Big Monument, which required learning and mastering the 4th level formation and the Thunder formation in the shortest time. The third test was the 5-star Sky Thunder formation, which was a 5th level formation, and it was not easy to set up because of the mutual influence of thunder. The 3 tests were one after another, from combat power to understanding, to soul power and control, covering all aspects. And the time was extremely limited. If the first step was late, the rest would be too late. Lin Moyu started the first test very quickly, without wasting any time. The saying that nothing happens more than 3 times reminded Lin Moyu of the old man who gave him the ancestral water essence. He also said something similar, nothing happens more than 3 times, and it is fate when it comes to 3 times. But Lin Moyu felt that there was no connection between the two. The remnant soul brought Lin Moyu to the end, and in front of him was a sea of thunder, which was boundless, and thunder was everywhere wherever he looked. The platform they were on seemed so small and lonely in the sea of thunder. The crippled hand raised his right hand lightly, sword. With a humming sound, a bolt of lightning shot out and came into the crippled soul's hand, turning into a sword. This sword was the one that was blasted into the thunder by the 5-star Sky Thunder array before. The crippled soul swung the long sword high and slashed it down. Exclamation point. The sword light swept past, and the sea of thunder was instantly split into 2, revealing a huge passage. This was the first time that the remnant soul attacked, and it was also the first time that Lin Moyu felt the terrible power of the remnant soul. This power is indescribable. Lin Moyu's spiritual sense told him that he was so small in front of this power. Lin Moyu knew his own strength very well. He was not afraid of anyone below the Dao Zun. Even facing the Dao Zun, he could still save his life. This inexplicable strength sometimes brings some inexplicable illusions. This illusion grows imperceptibly, and even he himself does not notice it. Until now, all the illusions have disappeared in front of this power. Lin Moyu felt that he was just like the first time he saw Antares, and he was still very weak. The boundless sea of thunder separated, and Lin Moyu's pupils shrank suddenly. He saw a person in the center of the sea of thunder. The man sat high above the thunder, as if he was the master of thunder, and countless thunders had to obey his orders. He just sat there, and an endless breath rose up, as if he was going to tear the world apart. Lin Moyu had a feeling that even if the opponent only had 1 corpse, the aura of death could be killed. No need to do anything, the aura of mourning is enough. The person in the thunder looked exactly the same as the remnant soul in front of him. The remnant soul said, "You guessed right, this is all my body." Lin Moyu shouted in his heart, "Where did I guess right? I was totally wrong." The moment he saw the corpse, Lin Moyu realized that he had seen it wrong. The remnant soul in front of him was not the remnant soul separated from the main body. It was the remnant left after the main body was severely injured and the soul was not destroyed. Although they are all remnant souls, there are essential differences. The remnant soul after being injured has all the memories. As long as the injury can be recovered, there is a chance to revive again. And the remnant soul separated is always just a remnant soul. Even if it is born with independent intelligence, it still cannot escape the fate of the remnant soul. The platform naturally extends along the separated passage, approaching the person in the Sea of Thunder. Lin Moyu said, with the ability of the predecessors, there should be a chance to recover and be reborn. The remnant soul said, the wound of the great Tao cannot be restored. Unless there is such a being who takes action, there may be a chance. Lin Moyu was a little confused. Junior doesn't quite understand. The remnant soul said, you will understand soon. While speaking, the platform has come to the center of the Sea of Thunder, and Lin Moyu saw this strong man up close. The remnant soul took a step forward, came to the flesh body, and then merged with the flesh body. He returned to the flesh body, and the flesh body that had been dead suddenly burst into amazing vitality. The flesh eyes opened, and thunder rose from the eyes. He looked at Lin Moyu with thunder in his eyes. Crack! Lin Moyu felt that there was an endless thunder exploding in his rule world. Lin Moyu was paralyzed on the spot, standing there, unable to move. Then, the other party pointed out a finger, turned into thunder, and went straight into Lin Moyu's eyebrows. In an instant, a terrible force rushed into the soul world. The defense of the soul world was torn apart like paper, and this force gathered in front of Lin Moyu's soul and finally turned into 2 origin crystals. These 2 origin crystals are of high rank, both are exquisite 8th rank origin crystals, and their value is inestimable. If Dao Zun knew about it, he would definitely try every means to tear open Lin Moyu's soul world and grab them. Lin Moyu finally recovered from paralysis. He breathed a sigh of relief, but he was still frightened. Fortunately, the senior didn't want to kill me, otherwise I would have died just now. Yes, if you want to kill me, you can kill me at any time along the way, and you don't have to wait until the end. Lin Moyu found that he was a little worried. Facing such an existence, all his cautions were actually meaningless. Whether the other party wanted to kill him or take over his body, it was easy. Just as Lin Moyu was worried, a message came over. Lin Moyu immediately understood the other party's identity and some of his experience. The senior in front of him, with the honorific name of Tianlai Daoren, comprehended the Great Way of Thunder. His cultivation was extremely strong, reaching the 9th realm of Tao, and he was only 1 step away from that mysterious and indescribable realm. But this 1 step away was like a natural chasm, and he could not reach it even after practicing for millions of years. Until hundreds of thousands of years ago, he decided to go all out. He came to Leishan, where there was an 8th level origin spiritual vein with thunder attribute. The most valuable thing was that there was also an extremely large natural formation here. The combination of the 2 could greatly enhance his strength. He wanted to use this origin spiritual vein and natural formation to help him complete the final impact. Tianlai Daoren spent 1,000 years to understand the natural formation in Leishan and laid out his own formation, which was connected to the natural formation. In this way, the formation in Leishan became more dangerous, and at the same time, this 8th level origin spiritual vein of thunder attribute can also be used by him completely. What Tianlai Daoren has learned in his life, in addition to the Thunder Dao, is the formation. However, he is different from Lu Fengqing. He follows the path of weapon formation, which has nothing to do with runes. According to his rank, he has reached the 8th level formation master, and is only a little away from the highest 9th level. After thousands of years of careful preparation, Tiandarin launched an attack. In the end, he still failed. Although he did not die, his soul was injured by the Tao and his foundation was broken. The body that had been cultivated for a lifetime was also severely damaged, but with the help of the Thunder Mountain origin spiritual vein, the body gradually recovered later. It's just that this injured soul can never recover. And he has been spotted by the Tao and cannot leave here. When he failed, he used a special method to deceive the Tao and let the Tao think that he was dead. Once he left here, the Tao would send down thunder and lightning again and put him to death again. Lin Moyu opened his eyes and saw that the residual soul of Tianlai Taoist was already standing in front of him, while his body was still sitting in the sea of thunder, motionless. Tianlai Taoist whispered, "Now you know everything." Lin Moyu had an impulse in his heart, wanting to use the spirit flower to help Tianlai Taoist heal his wounds. The wound of the great Tao, perhaps the spirit flower can heal it. But Lin Moyu did not move. He did not know what Tianlai Taoist would do to him after he took out the spirit flower. People's hearts are fickle, and without the ability to protect himself, Lin Qiande Moyu did not dare to take out the spirit flower easily. Lin Moyu is very clear about the principle of holding a treasure and being guilty. Lin Moyu whispered, "Senior, is your injury really incurable?" Tianlai Taoist said, "What if it can be cured? Will you be struck back to your original form by the great Tao after you are cured? I am not sure that I can save my life for the second time under the great Tao. Now I can still survive with the help of this Thunder Mountain spiritual vein. In fact, there is no difference between being here and being outside." He said it with some sadness and strong helplessness. Lin Moyu couldn't help asking, "What can I do for you?" Tianlai Daorin's eyes were filled with thunder. "You are the only one who has truly passed the test, but unfortunately, you are not suitable for my way." Lin Moyu knew that he was indeed not suitable for Tianlai Daorin's way. The fundamental concepts of the two were completely different. Maybe they could end up in the same place, but not now. I have no regrets for failing to impact, and now my only thought is that I don't want my way to end here.